You do what you gotta do, man.
Should I move it? I think I'm gonna move
Hey, internet. Wow. Okay. Okay. This is episode 1 of Lore of the Things, where we talk about things and stuff, and maybe some lore. You know.
it. There we go.
Hold on. Hold
Good
on.
intro.
I got something I gotta do here. It's gonna be monumental.
Good intro, brother.
This is gonna be
What's that?
the unveiling of the brand new logo.
Uh-oh. Have I seen this one?
It was just on the intro screen, but
Oh,
where do we want it? Right here?
man, that is sharp.
That's good, right?
Maybe a little smaller. Just like a little tagline.
No, you can't read it.
Okay, you're right.
Let's put it over here. Let's put it above me. What do you think of that?
A little, I'd say off center. Actually, just
Like that?
scoot it over. Yeah.
Nah, I like it down here. I'm gonna put it back down here.
Yeah, but you made it smaller. That looks better.
You like
Put
it smaller?
Up just a little bit, you know.
Like here?
I just tried to click it and drag it up a
That's
little bit.
That's blocking too much. I'm gonna put it down low.
All right, yeah.
Who's the host and who's the co-host of the show?
All right.
All right. I mean, co-host technically means, co-host is a co-host, but we're gonna put it there. I think that's gonna be it right there.
Let's have a. Can you throw up a count on the screen, like somewhere?
What kind of count?
How many times we move it during the stream? If we could do
that. Yeah. I don't know if I have that kind of production value.
Throw it up there. Man.
All right, hold on. Let's see.
All right.
Just do a text. Right?
What are we?
Text.
Yeah, text, and just put on 3. People will understand.
Text. Font.
Loud Aconda, thanks for the sloth.
What kind of font do we want?
I would say a typewriter style font.
What is that called? You know the fonts.
Courier, I believe, is a nice typewriter style. I believe.
Courier? How about Comic Sans MS?
Yeah, okay.
That's a pretty classic one, you know.
If you can make it in rainbow colors, like rainbow gradient, can you do that? Can you
I don't know about all that.
Okay, I don't want it then.
Gradient. Here we go.
Take it away.
We're gonna go from blue to
following you so far.
To like an orange.
Loving it so far.
I'm gonna try to match our logos, kinda. Properties. It's gonna be.
Oh, cool story, Bob.
Times. Logo moved.
Yeah. Okay.
Logo moved. Oh wait,
is it really? It's a gradient and everything.
Yeah, but it's going like from down to up.
Just get rid of it. Just get it out of here. Never want to see it again.
No, I'm gonna keep it. How many times have we moved it?
I'd say a solid 3. Just make it.
All right, here we go. That's good, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That looks good. All right, logo moved.
Okay.
Let me fix that real quick. Logo moved. We moved it 3 times thus far. There.
That's a pretty good count, really.
There.
Cool. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day.
All right, but for real, we're gonna put it right. right there, and that's where it's gonna live from now on.
Maybe we should.
That don't look too bad.
What's that?
Spit it out, man. What are you doing? Welcome to Lore of the Things with Zach moving his camera.
I'm going to move my camera for a half hour. Tim is going to talk about... what are you going to talk about, Tim? What do you got?
I don't know. Right now, as you can see, I have the band, new metal band from the early 2000s, pretty popular. They had about one song that was pretty big. Headstrong, if you know it. Yeah, Headstrong. Remember?
Headstrong, take.
Yeah, exactly.
That, right?
Yeah. No, we can.
That was quality.
These guys apparently are still a force to be reckoned with among the internet.
Is that new? That's new metal. That's what that's.
Yeah, NU.
Right. Yeah, but that would be considered new metal.
Yeah, like what you were talking, Trapped. Possibly early Breaking Benjamin.
Nickelback?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I wouldn't classify them as new metal. We're talking new metal typically is a little bit heavier. Sometimes has even hip hop influences like okay. We're talking early Korn. Slipknot.
Early Korn, really? So I like early Korn, or I did.
Slipknot.
Back when they were early.
The real epitome, I think, the epitome of the new metal. What do you call it? Insurgents? I don't know. The epitome of the new metal movement was really, I think, Fred Durst and the boys, and the old Limp Bizkit. Okay. Yeah.
That's
basically the guitarists tune really low, usually have like some kind of weird contacts or something in.
Right.
And the vocalists are typically either screaming or rapping. So that's going to be...
So I was an avid new metal fan in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Just say.
We're talking Bizkit?
Bizkit. My mom took me to a Limp Bizkit concert.
All right. Slipknot?
Slipknot... Slipknot, yes and no, but Limp Bizkit, a definite yes from me.
Some people consider I don't. I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't consider this band to be new metal, but people do mention Rage Against the Machine.
Really? Really? They're just like rock and roll. I don't think.
No, they're not really rock and roll either. All right, Rage Against the Machine is. I'm pretty passionate about this topic. Okay. Rage Against the Machine... Oh, wait, one sec. I gotta... Let's, I kind of like this up here, you know?
I mean, what about... Oh, I got it. What about in the upper right-hand corner? Like, near the X? Nobody needs to look at that X.
I don't know about that, though. You want to see?
I'd say,
see what it looks like?
Let's try it out. Let's see what it looks like.
No, it's very unsymmetrical.
Oh, no, it's horrible.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna put it right here for now.
All right.
So and we're gonna call that
4 and 5.
We're gonna call that just 4 because we didn't actually leave it there. So.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Just gonna call that 4.
Sense.
We're gonna edit the whole Comic Sans here. Look at that production value.
It just disappeared. It was amazing.
Now what disappeared?
The 3, and then it changed to a 4.
Yeah. I'm doing it on the fly.
What do you got? You got like a production team over there or something?
Yeah. They're working it as we go.
They're working hard. Okay.
So back to the thing that we were talking about. The most important topic of the day probably is Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
Not really, but we'll get into our real topics later. Rage Against the Machine is a fusion of, to me, hip-hop, obviously.
Right.
Very heavy funk influence with Tom Morello's guitar.
They're very funky. That's the guy with the ball cap, right?
Yeah.
Baseball cap. Okay.
And I'm going to say hardcore.
Really?
You got to think of Zach De La Rocha's roots as the frontman of a hardcore band called Inside Out before Rage Against the
Okay.
Machine started.
Was that like hardcore, like right after punk rock, like got in, like turned into hardcore, kind of some of those
Yeah,
guys?
yeah, like
Okay.
Inside Out, man. Here, let me see. Oh, you probably wouldn't be able to hear it if I played it.
He seems like they seem like punk rockers that lived through the punk rock heyday, you know? They don't really, I wouldn't call it punk rock. It's definitely not punk rock, but it seems like they definitely listened and jammed to some punk rock in the day.
I think they have a pretty strong hardcore influence. I'm not talking like modern hardcore, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talking like possibly bands like Judge, Inside Out, obviously, who Zach De La Rocha fronted before Rage Against the Machine. Not really even Minor Threat, because Minor Threat's more on the hardcore punk spectrum.
Mm. Okay.
Just angry, slower down tempo, less D beat, almost punk music, but with more aggressive vocals even than punk music. You know what I mean?
Well, in punk music, they're kind of just it's like somebody kicked the lead singer in the balls and he just screams and
Well, they just kind of
complains
angrily
about the
talk.
government. Right? Yeah, that's true.
Like, it depends on the band, though. Punk's a very, very wide genre.
That is true.
You have bands like Pennywise, where it's a much more melodic form of singing.
Yeah.
And then you go to, like, I don't know, like a Henry Rollins sort of early Black Flag thing, where it's much more of a scream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So punk's a very, very wide genre. I don't like the classification of subgenres. I think it's really annoying, but also sometimes necessary, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So on to this. Here we go. Trapped.
Okay, what do we got?
The superstars.
Okay, so what did they do?
Of the superstars of a couple weeks of the early 2000s. We're gonna look at what they're doing on their Twitter here.
Oh, they're still releasing music. That's good to see.
I mean, shadow work coming this summer. What summer? It doesn't really say. It could have been like 2004.
Right.
And they're over here. They're starting these very, very controversial hashtags that are trending on Twitter right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hashtag white privilege does not exist.
Mm.
Hashtag don't be a victim.
Okay.
And hashtag no one is being oppressed in 2020.
Okay.
How do you feel about that one?
That's untrue. First, some of those hashtags are just they're untrue. It seems, and I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard to see that. It's like it works though. You know, people that like that Trump character, they love that shit. They love to see people just fucking ripping into their fellow humans. That's what they really like. So I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of gun-toting red-blooded Americans
here's a reaction to something that they've said. It's never been more important to take time to appreciate the gifts God has granted you. In response to this tweet. What am I saying that is racist? Just because I'm not coddling you in your victimhood? Go on and teach your children to point the finger and be victims and see how far they get. Oh, you were not even born yet when the Civil Rights Act was passed? Get the F out of here. You didn't do shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get on board with Trapped. I was a big fan before this, to be honest.
I mean, I was a big fan of that song.
I think
That was a pretty good
entire
song.
country was. I think that was.
Pretty pretty good song, but
But that was at a time where those songs like that came out, and
there was a few of
I
them.
yeah
There was a few of these
I they
bands
were
that put out
stuck.
one song and you were like, "Man, this is really really good."
Well, they were stuck in my head, but they weren't good. They were bad. I think
Yeah, like
if you listen to that song again, it's like,
I mean, you go back and you listen to the entire catalog of a little band called Hoobastank,
oh, see,
and
that's another one. That's
they
I
weren't a
hate that.
one-hit wonder though.
No, but they're horrible.
But at the
They're
time, I was jamming it, and when I first heard it on the radio, I thought their name was Poopastank,
well, that
and
would have been
I was
would have
like,
been a
"Dude,
lot more
Poopastank." I
appropriate.
was like, "Poopastank shreds."
That was to me. That was like Hoobastank in particular because maybe it's like their look a little bit too. Um, it felt like they listened to uh, um, like it just felt like they were posers, even though they were doing it, and I was just a kid not doing anything. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Is
yeah,
there
I know,
really a
but it
better judge
just
of like poserism than a 13-year-old kid who has never really
right.
been
I
on
think
stage
I think
or
I
doesn't
think I had
even
it right
skateboard or anything else, but still
to
wears
say it,
DCs and Jinkos? Like, is there a?
but it sounded like they listened to an Incubus album, like half of an Incubus album, and then we're just like, we're doing this. We're gonna make our own band.
Well, that's one band
And
that came from that whole movement. That
right,
you go back and listen to it, and you're like, this is a good band,
right,
and that was Incubus.
yeah.
You go
Incubus
back
was
and you listen to
good.
Incubus, and you're like, wow, I wasn't
No,
lame.
that
Like Incubus
was
is actually good.
yeah. I feel like they were around before Hoobastank. I don't
Oh
know
no,
if they were.
Incubus was like underground big, and they were
Yeah, I
one of the
feel like I
pioneers of the new metal we were talking about.
okay,
They
but they
softened their
were
sound a bit. Another band that was another pioneer of the new metal sound that changed a lot when they broke out a little bit more into the mainstream was 311.
now that was like
If you listen to some 311,
Scottish
yeah, yeah,
reggae.
but if you listen to some 311 early works, it's like heavy rap rock.
Okay, yeah,
Like Down, you
yeah,
ever
I
heard
could see
Down?
that. Yeah, of course, of course.
It's-
I was never a huge fan, but I've heard a lot of their
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I
Oh,
had a
System of a
I had a
Down.
record.
System of a Down is another band that's they hold up.
Eh,
Really?
eh.
Really? You telling me you can't
I
listen to
mean,
Toxicity from front to back and tell me that every song on that album slaps?
well, I mean, like, what's the hit single from that one,
From Toxicity?
which was called Toxicity, right?
Well, I mean, there was
That one.
Toxicity, Aerials.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I didn't sign up for that. Really, I don't know. It was weird.
Sugar. No.
I didn't. No.
Sugar. Not. Wanna know the other day, right in my pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I couldn't. It's like I don't know what turned me off to that, but it was like the bass lines were good. I remember that.
Well, yeah,
I
the
really like
music.
the
Honestly, the
bass
music
lines.
for all of these bands is pretty fantastic.
Right. But something about that.
Maybe you just don't like the surge vocals. I didn't when I was, uncultured
Right.
and
That's
young.
probably what
You
it
know what I
is.
mean? Um,
It's
no, and honestly, the band is more than just Surge, because I'm not a fan of Surge's solo stuff.
mhm,
It sounds
mhm.
like maybe an opera singer is getting stabbed in the spleen multiple times, or
Right.
I don't, But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, System of a Down, pretty good.
I'm listening to
Anyways,
the aerials right now. I'll
yeah,
have it in the
Aerials.
background.
Aerials is a good jam.
I remember this was probably my favorite one.
Well, Toxicity was good too.
Yeah, but I remember the
Looking at
video for this
life
one
through
now.
the eyes of a tire hub. Remember?
Yeah.
Eating seeds is a pastime activity.
Yeah, see, I don't know. That's just really
I
do
mean,
it
the
for
lyrics don't make any sense, but.
me. I don't know what I was listening to. The system. It's like they came out and I thought like, nah, I know I know better music than this.
Yeah, but you
and I
remember
don't know what
Steal?
it was.
Remember the cover from Steal This Album was so iconic.
Nah,
It was just a
I don't
white
remember.
background with like it looked like Sharpie writing, and it just said "Steal This Album."
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's throwback to Steal This Book, right? I mean,
but that was also in like the Napster era.
yeah.
I think they
Wow.
were. I think they were proponents of downloaded music
Okay.
at a time when like Lars Ulrich from
hmm
Metallica was single-handedly almost taking down Napster.
Yeah, and that's a call to steal this book, which is it was like the counterculture. It was like a instruction manual on how to uh, like fight the man, how to go against the government.
Hmm.
So that's probably why they named it that. I would assume.
It could be sort of a callback to it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a big deal. I mean, like it was released in the 60s or 70s, like late 60s, early 70s, and it was all about it.
I want to
It
look up.
was it was
Oh, this
fighting the
is
man.
West. This is West Orlando, so this hits pretty close to home. Let's look up the latest info of the COVID virus in Florida.
So Lou Dan Akonda says sugar.
So, local headlines. Here we go. 9 Florida
Lou Dan.
residents have died.
That's pretty up there.
432 total cases in Florida.
Oh, you were listening to everyone. Yeah,
Hmm?
I don't. What? Wait, if everyone cared, what is that? Is that a song? Nickelback. Yeah, I was not. I mean, I was. Everyone was, right? Nickelback.
I mean,
3 Days Grace. Those are the other bands. That's like the other flip side of the coin
3
that
Days Grace
I
put out.
hated so much.
I liked that first one that they came out with.
What year? What year were these things? What was
It,
Nickelback?
it
Was that
had to
like
be early
2000?
2000s.
What was I listening to in the 2000? What was it? What else was out?
All right, so this
Kid
is
Rock.
this is something I want to talk about also because I went through three main phases with music. I went through a phase where I was listening to Slipknot and
Right. Right.
System of a Down, and I was also listening to a lot of classic rock. I was listening to a lot of like Black Sabbath and AC/DC and things like that.
Yeah, I think I just listened to the Eagles like the whole 2000.
As I got a little bit older, I started listening to like first like hardcore and punk, like Pennywise. My brother actually gave me a Live at the Key Club CD, and I listened to that a lot. Pennywise, and I was also listening to like hardcore, like Casey Jones and Bane, and then I started listening to like the screamo. You know what I mean? Like Chiodos. You know,
Cheetos. I
Chiodos.
love Cheetos. Yeah. I have no idea who that is, to be
You
honest.
how do
with
you not know? How do you not know?
Oh.
The people that you hang out with probably listened to a lot of that back in the day. Like Senses Fail.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but for
Uh,
me, I didn't really. I listened to some stuff, but I think I'm looking at it now, and I think in 2000, like 2000, early 2000 stuff, I was still listening to what they deemed alternative from like the 90s.
oh,
Like
you're talking. Are you talking like Third Eye Blind and like?
I'm talking Third Eye Blind, like Alanis Morissette. I was still listening to Alanis Morissette,
I mean,
probably.
and here's what happened with me. Now that you mentioned Alanis Morissette, that's very very interesting. I transitioned into maybe like middle school and late middle school,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, Slipknot sucks.
Yeah.
System of a Down sucks. All these bands suck. Like I only listen to hardcore. I listen to screamo. You know what I mean?"
Right.
And I went into
You're
high
gonna
school
laugh.
listening to hardcore, and then I started listening to like metalcore with like breakdowns, and hardcore dancing and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a straight edge phase where I drew X's on my hands every day.
Oh, that's good.
And
That's fun.
as I got older, I went back and I listened to these bands like Slipknot and bands like that, and I was like, before this, I would just talk trash about it, like, oh, that stuff's
Right.
so dumb, like I hate that stuff. I go back now, like within the last few years, I listened to it, and it is a bona fide, like, every Slipknot album is a bona fide slapper. Like, Slipknot kills.
I don't know.
And I don't
Maybe.
know.
I'd have to listen to it again with a new.
Dude, Iowa, front to back, is a fantastic album.
You know what it is? I think I was stuck in the '90s for most of the early 2000s. I think I was listening to like Weezer and like.
I mean, Weezer. Everybody listened to Weezer.
Beck.
But then it became like. Weezer became like
Smashing Pumpkins.
Weezer became a hipster thing too. Like nowadays, Weezer's a hipster thing. It's like you don't listen to Weezer. You don't listen to like the Blue Album. You don't listen to like the self-titleds. You only listen to Pinkerton.
Right.
Which, when it came out, was critically the worst album that Weezer's ever released. It was like their second album or something.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Weezer now, you only listen to Pinkerton. And if you do, you're cool.
Yeah. Well, no. See, look, Loud Anaconda's got it. I listened to Nirvana in the 2000s. Sublime. I listened to a lot of Sublime.
See,
I listened to.
I had like a ska kind of reggae phase, but
Right.
now that I've like
Real
grown,
Big Fish.
now that I've grown into myself as like an adult that has a musical taste of my own, I really do not like anything that's reggae influenced. Like, period.
If I go back, Sublime is the only one I could.
I don't even like Sublime.
Horrible.
I listen to Sublime and I don't like it.
But did you surf a lot? Because I thought I was a little surfer reggae kid. I think
I was forced into that.
Yeah.
I was forced into surfing and skating and sports and things like that because like my dad and my brother like doing that stuff, and I wanted to be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I was never good at it.
Your brother seems like a big Sublime fan. Seems like he would rock some Sublime.
Yeah, the older he gets, though, he listens to like he had like a really big Bieber phase. Like, he was just jamming Bieber, dude.
I'm gonna say something. Bieber, his early career.
Oh no,
he was making some of the best music on the market at that time.
No, see,
I'm telling you.
Here's the problem: was Bieber was just shopped as a child version of Usher.
Right. Okay, and Usher was making good music back in the '90s.
I mean,
2000s, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about that? We can talk about that for days.
I don't think I was really listening to Bieber, but I know his bangers that when they were on the radio, they were banging. That's all I know.
Yeah, but like Baby was for children.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Baby is exactly. I just know that.
I like that one song he put out. It was only a few years ago. The Love Yourself or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If you like the way you look so much, you can go and love yourself.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
That was a pretty good song, man. But if we want to get into that,
Sunday. I was listening to Brand New and Taking Back Sunday.
That's okay. See, I got into that too. I don't know how you don't know like you must have never really got into like the screamo though.
No,
it was almost more like metal influenced.
Right.
But what about like Early November? The Movie Life?
I listened to
the Hand Grenade. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope, don't. See, I didn't branch out.
Feels like a Hand Grenade? No, it was the Movie Life. It was a Movie Life song.
No, I don't know.
What about that song Body Bag by that one band? You would know it if you heard it.
I went to a Dashboard Confessional concert and
Dashboard.
saw like a couple other.
What about that song Body Bag? I forgot who it was by. I think like Hit the Lights or something. It's like, you're gonna need a body bag. I'll break bones you didn't
Beartooth?
know you have. Beartooth? No, that's new.
No,
That's
no,
new
I
stuff.
don't know. And I listen to a lot of 3-6 Mafia and like Tupac and stuff.
Yeah, well, see, I was more into like I had a really big Biggie face.
Oof.
My,
Yeah, that's horrible.
my cousin
Sorry
was
to
into
hear that.
Tupac,
Yeah,
and
well, that was the right decision. That was.
are we really gonna start this right now?
We shouldn't because we don't have enough time. I don't think.
I don't think I want to
Because
get into that.
it's gonna take a while, but
Because
for you to admit
I
that
will
you're wrong,
say that Tupac as an artist, um,
hands down,
is better.
he's the better artist. Oh, you're gonna be, Amber. She says that all the time. She's like, Biggie makes like feel good party songs. Tupac's always
No, I
talking
don't care about
the
Biggie's feel good hearty
struggle
songs. I don't
and
care about
like
I don't care about like Biggie's feel
being
good hearty
held
songs.
down. Yeah.
The
No,
Biggie that I
I
like,
just think-
the Biggie that I like, it's not even lyrical, and I can't describe it. It's more of a feel thing, and a flow
Yeah.
thing. But some of his stuff just hits hard, man. And I'm talking like just straight up hardcore gangster rap. Like callbacks to like I don't know, and I think honestly what part of it is in my opinion 85 to 90% of the best music that's ever been released has come from New York. For some reason everything that comes from New York to me has that New York feel to it.
Right.
And I just latch onto that.
All right.
Whether it be hardcore, hip hop, I'm more into Wu-Tang than I am into, I don't know, even Tupac. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, well, they were a movement. They were like on a different level, I think.
Well, I mean, you got to think like some of the absolute best hip hop artists ever came from New York.
Yeah.
We're talking Wu-Tang.
I got into that.
We're
Was
talking,
like 2000s hit the Southern rap like.
Yeah, but
it really started coming.
I never really got into it, man. I don't like that Memphis style. I don't like that Atlanta style.
Nah.
I don't like Nelly. I don't like Lil Jon.
No,
I don't like.
Nah, me neither. I'm talking like 3-6. I'm talking like.
See, 3-6 for me was, it's good, but it doesn't touch anything from New York. I mean.
Or like Outkast, that was like Southern rap, right?
Yeah. Outkast is kind of in their own category, though.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're very goofy when they want to be, very serious when they want to be. Very.
That's true.
I mean, Andre 3000 is a multifaceted, very talented, just person in general. He can act, he can sing, he can rap, he can write. Big Boy was just sort of there. And I'll stick to that until the end of time. I think that Andre 3000 carried Big Boy on his back for, quite a long time.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, but he was essential to a lot of their, like, every song I think of, his shit. I like his shit, his parts in it.
That's true.
I think he brings it to another.
Andre is just so classy, though.
Right.
He's got the class and the sass.
So you didn't like Young Jeezy, like
I never got into that.
T.I. or anything like that.
When that stuff started coming out was the same time that I denounced mainstream rap music.
Yeah, okay.
I denounced mainstream rap music. I never listened to the rap radios again because I had discovered Atmosphere, Aesop Rock, Brother Ali.
Oh, Atmosphere.
Blueprint.
Atmosphere is probably one of my favorite hip hop artists.
I'm gonna have a hot take here. He's a great record executive. Rhymesayers has done a lot of things, and they've done a lot for the underground community, and most of their artists I like. But I listen to his newer music, and I can't help but feel that he's kind of washed.
I haven't really heard any of his new shit.
But like, if you go back and you listen to like Seven's Travels, or like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Even God Loves Ugly, like
that's what.
And
I'm talking
everything before that, Slug was
Yeah,
like throwing punches, hitting hard, man.
I'm saying. But I haven't listened to it. See, that's why I keep them in the past. I keep that stuff to where I liked it, and I'll listen to Seven's Travels and God Loves Ugly and the
What was that
Lucy one,
first
whatever that
album
one.
that Lucy Ford? Ooh,
Yeah, I'll listen to
what was
that,
that
but
first album
I
that
don't
they
even know what he's
released?
doing nowadays. I'm
The first
probably a bad fan for doing that,
the
but
first album that they released. Well, you see, he's Slug from Atmosphere is still he still runs Rhyme Sayers Entertainment.
right.
So he
Yeah,
puts
I need
on
to get
all of
into that.
these. He puts on all these artists that would otherwise never be heard of, that are just fantastic artists.
Right. What does Ant actually do? Isn't that the other
He's
guy?
the DJ.
Ant? That's it?
Ant is
He
the
doesn't
DJ
rap,
in
right?
Atmosphere.
Okay. I didn't think he rapped.
Overcast, 1997.
Wow, I didn't know it was that old.
Spawn left the group after their first album, Overcast, was released.
Yeah, they were like a band at one point, like a real band.
Scapegoat. Well, they were like a trio.
Okay, yeah. No, there was
So
more, wasn't there?
these guys put out some bangers back then.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, Atmosphere became just Slug and Ant.
Slug. It was, to me, it was just Slug, and I'm,
Well, I
like
mean,
said,
Ant has
I'm a
always
bad
done
fan.
all of the beats.
Okay.
I'm
So
a
the
big,
beats are awesome.
I'm a really big proponent of a rapper can't go anywhere without, unless he produces his own stuff and it's good, or without a good
Right.
producer
Oh
to back
yeah,
him
that's
up.
like everything.
And that's why Atmosphere is Atmosphere.
Right. Yeah.
It's Slug and Ant. He's
Yeah.
never been called Slug. He's never put out an album as Slug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Atmosphere has always been Atmosphere. And when I first heard it, obviously, I thought the guy's name was Atmosphere.
Yeah, me too. For a long time, until he started saying Slug, and I was like actually hearing.
Yeah. God Loves Ugly, Seven's Travels, Can't Imagine. It was all good. When Life Gives You Lemons came out in 2008, and it was pretty good. Family
I listened to that
Sign.
one.
It gets a little bit less hard, and it gets kind of not as original as his stuff was in the past.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, I
But I
don't
always
know.
have respect
don't
for
know.
him because he puts on artists that nobody has ever heard of.
Right.
And
That's
he's the main
good
reason
for
why one of my favorite artists, obviously, I mean, you could probably already guess it, is as big as he is, and he deserves all the credit in the world because he's the best lyricist in hip hop.
Eminem.
I'm gonna pull up a chart real quick.
Who is it? Who's the best lyricists? I was a big Beastie Boys fan. I don't know.
Rappers sorted by the size of their vocabulary.
Oh, okay. Come on. That's a cheap shot.
We're gonna look at this really quick.
That's a cheap shot, man. Unique words.
Number of new unique words used within artist's first 35,000 lyrics. Okay?
Is that? Yeah. Okay. What do you
Down
got?
low with
Aesop Rock.
Down low with 2556 unique words used, Lil Uzi Vert and NF.
Come on.
Lil Baby, Boogie with the Hoodie, Young Boy Never Broke. DMX is actually pretty low on the list.
Well, all he does is bark.
21
I believe
Savage, Kid Ink. These are beat carried rappers.
that. Right. Yeah.
And as important as a
Right,
good
so-
beat is, it's not that important.
So
Not
let's go
important
to the
enough.
other spectrum. Most of them fall.
No,
it's like a
we're
bell-
gonna make our way
bell
through
curve.
this here. We're gonna make our way through this here. Here's Snoop Dogg, okay, at 37.97.
That's respectable.
It is.
I mean, he never tried to be like dictionary wasn't his thing. It was like
No. Snoop Dogg just
that
had
West Coast style.
he had a style. You know what I mean? Here's Nelly, actually, pretty far ahead of the game.
That's funny.
You got ASAP Rocky here, Ice Cube, Wale,
What's that guy's name? What's the
Danny
fat
Brown.
the fat white guy's name? I bet you he's up there. I think I see him.
He's right here, Action Bronson.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
Redman. You
Dude, Action
got
Bronson's pretty good.
Watsky, Raekwon, Sage Francis is here. Cunning
Mm-hmm. I
Linguist,
believe
Cool
it.
G, Cool Keith. This is Exhibit, Most Def. They're up here. Joey Badass, another fantastic artist.
There's Slug right there.
Nas, where's Slug?
To the left a little bit. Just a few.
Oh, right here, yeah. Atmosphere. When you're coming
Okay.
up, you got Khan. I know there was a specific. Well, here's Wu-Tang Clan as a whole.
What? As a whole, that's gonna. Okay.
Yeah, that's not really that fair, but I mean, you know. I mean, here's
I mean,
Ghostface, though. Only in his solo albums.
Okay.
Here's Del the Funky Homo Sapien, another one of my favorite artists ever.
Yeah. Oh, I
Here's
see.
MF Doom, another one of my favorite artists
Yeah.
ever.
MF Doom's good.
Here's Jizza, above Wu-Tang by itself. Jedi
And
Mind Tricks.
Ghostface.
We got Bus Driver, who is an insane supporter of the arts and has always been fantastic. And then all the way over here, past everyone else, look who it is. It's Ian Matthias Babbitt's Aesop Rock. The number one artist in hip-hop. Undisputed.
By number of unique words, but some would argue that,
In my opinion.
you know, using the construct of a small vocabulary and still selling more
Yeah, but
albums than
in
Aesop
my
Rock.
opinion, though,
Yeah.
the number one artist with the best catalog of all time is Aesop Rock.
All right.
He can rap over anything. He can collaborate with anyone. You have to re-listen to his songs to absorb the meanings of them multiple times.
Right. Yeah, he's good. I'll give him that. I didn't sign up early for that one. But,
I mean, if you listen to the album,
I have listened to.
Listen to the album "Float" that came out in 2000, and you're not gonna
Right.
believe that this didn't explode. But I think it's a very refined, acquired taste. It doesn't quote unquote bump as hard as some things would. And a big successor for Aesop Rock, or a big contributor to his career, was Rhymesayers Entertainment, founded by Slug from Atmosphere. And his DJ for his first few albums, Blockhead, is one of the most prolific hip-hop DJs in the industry, still working today. But it's all underground.
Right. Okay.
It's not
Well,
it's not
I
as
gotta
digestible. You know what I
I
mean?
gotta start seeking out some of that.
Well, if you want to reintroduce yourself to Aesop Rock, I would start with his latest album, Impossible Kid. It's a much more digestible album. It's a much more relatable album.
I've probably heard some of it.
There's songs. There's a song about his cat. There's a song about going to the shrink.
I can get with the cat and the shrink. That's pretty good.
Kirby is the song about a cat. It's a good song, man. But yeah, I just wanted to
About a cat.
show you the spectrum of it. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's automatically the best. But since he is my favorite already and I'm biased, I like looking at this chart. It brings me joy.
It's super easy to just be like, this is it. He's the best. Look at that.
There's a lot of artists in here that I like. There's a lot of artists down low that I like.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of
Lil
artists.
Uzi Vert.
There's not a lot of artists really low that I like, apparently. But
Listen, you know.
I mean, here's Bone Thugs right here.
Out of all the rappers out right now, like putting out stuff right now that's on TV that I see, like Aesop Rock, I'm guilty of not seeking out stuff like that anymore. But Nicki Minaj, she can rap. I don't know who writes her raps. If she writes them, I wanna believe that she writes them.
I'm looking for Eminem on this.
He's like in the middle, like dead in the middle. I think I saw.
Oh, he's right here. Here he is.
he reuses some stuff. I mean,
You like Joey Badass? Joey Badass is something else, man. Joey Badass is good.
nah, I don't think so.
You ever seen Mr. Robot?
Yeah, yeah.
He was in Mr. Robot.
I didn't finish it.
Ooh.
Is it finished now? Is it over?
I never watched the last season, but that's a big int on both of our parts for not finishing it.
Yeah, we need to get up on that for sure.
That's a fantastic show.
It was good. I liked it a lot. I don't know why I stopped. I think it was the end of the season or something.
All right, so we're back to this now here.
Oh, okay. So look, I saw this. I don't know where I saw it, but it said like 40. What was it? I think it was like 41. Okay, I don't remember the numbers, but anyway, it was like 1 in 4 people that have been tested have tested positive.
Wow.
In Florida. So
that's probably because they're not getting tested unless they.
Nobody's getting tested. Well, yeah.
Unless they have pretty severe symptoms of it too. That could be another contributing factor to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think our numbers are going to go way up when they get more tests.
Well, the problem is we have a lot of people that are non-Florida residents that are quarantined here.
Right. Tourism.
This thing hit the world at the wrong time for us.
Yeah, spring break and shit.
Spring break and bike week fall on each other.
Mm-hmm.
They do stuff at the racetrack for bike week now. It's become another thing. I feel like the decline in the popularity of bike week has forced them to seek out other avenues.
Right.
Which actually caused issues in this specific case for us.
It's no good. It's no good.
They do like Orlando Bike Week. They do like weird stuff like that.
Yeah. They have the motocross just recently at the park or at the track too.
They shut down the track
brings in
before they even pulled the permits for everything on Main Street and everything. Which after that, by the way, all the bikers still stayed out there.
I know.
How do you feel about that one?
They put on their glasses like that, and they're like, deal with it.
How do you feel about that though? Is that a selfish move? Like, I traveled all the way down here.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I can't really blame people that don't take it seriously because, I mean, the news is always on about something. They're always fucking going on about this or that.
And they might be blowing up a little bit, but, like, they say, like, oh, we had SARS this year, and we had Zika this year, and we had bird flu this year, and swine flu this year. But has any of them been this bad?
That's the thing. It's never. I don't know if it's the hype train, if it's social media, or if it's really that bad. But I don't remember it ever being this in your face, ever. Not even when swine flu was killing all those people, or bird flu, or whatever. See, I don't even know what it was. I don't even know.
There was all kinds of them.
Scare.
There was SARS-CoV-2, which was, I guess, similar to this virus. I didn't know that.
Right. No, they're all SARS viruses, I think. They're like...
bird flu, swine flu. What's the difference between this and influenza A that comes around every year? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's a good question. It's the fact that
why don't we have
like deadlier?
Is it because it's global? It doesn't feel global. Deadlier though. People get the flu, and they get pneumonia, and they die.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
It's just about the numbers. I think that they're blowing up, and they're probably. I mean, rightfully so.
I feel like it's I feel like it's the spread. I feel like because it became a global pandemic, that it's like, all right, we need to take this thing seriously. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You want to watch this?
And the rate that it went. What is this? Who's that? DeSantis? Yeah.
You want to see what they have to say here?
Let's see what he says.
Weeknights at 7. Get ready for
we got an ad.
Goldbergs.
I know how this looks. And you know it's hilarious, right?
CW18, baby.
Roll it out.
Shut your face.
I tried to watch that show.
Weeknights at 7. Only on
I don't know.
CW18.
Feels a little Big Bang Theory to me.
It's not quite as bad, but it's up there.
Save the samples, and then they're going to ship it to a private lab. The lab's going to test it. It's not going to be done overnight. There's a national backlog.
Ronnie rocking that.
We think they're going to move to more higher throughput testing, so that potentially could speed it back up. But I just want people to be understand.
He
Dude,
looks
yeah.
a hell of a lot better than Rick Scott.
The options. I think the great
Oh,
thing
yeah.
I'll tell you that.
the
Fucking
memorial
creature
partnership
from the deep.
is that they have their own
Rick Scott
place
looks like
for the fight
Voldemort with a
lab.
nose.
They're working on getting that
That
ready.
guy is.
And so as this program
He overstayed his welcome.
gets
That
going
guy.
in the next couple days, hopefully what'll end up happening is the people that get swabbed here, they'll just take the swabs, bring it right over to their
So they're
home,
testing
the
this.
hospital.
They're swabbing
even hear
people.
this guy.
Through, they could do,
What is
they'll
this
probably
guy
be able to
saying?
do several hundred a day, and then get people the results back quicker. Because I know people get tested and then they're waiting for the results. It's a very frustrating thing. When we first started this, we had to send everything to the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, and it was taking a week to get the test results back. And people were
So
understandably
what are they doing
very
now if
frustrated
they're not
about
sending
that.
it? Hold on.
So
So when they first started testing for this, they were swabbing people, they were saving the samples, and they were sending them to the CDC.
Mm.
What are they doing now? Do they have some kind of mobile CDC station where they're testing for this thing, or what?
Yeah, I'm thinking like. I would assume there's some sort of test, like field test almost, but not really field test. I'm assuming there has to be.
Why can't they
Well, I
just
mean,
come
all
up with
you-
something that can test on the spot and tell you yes or no? Like blue or red?
Well, it's like a little virus. It's like pretty small, hard to see.
I got you.
So.
I got you. So they're looking at this thing under electron microscopes and they're saying, all right, this is COVID.
Yeah, they like see it, you know. Well, I'm gonna stick with that.
this
They
is
see
a
it and
first
they
step,
know what it looks
and
like,
we just want people to understand
or
expectations.
it might be like an
The goal
antibody
is that
test. I don't know.
This isn't
You know,
giving me
'cause some
very much
tests are
information.
antibody.
Let's look at the stats. Let's look at the stats. 9 Florida residents have died. 432 total cases in Florida. Now, is that that must be 432 confirmed?
Yeah, I would think so.
Drive-through testing site expected to open Friday in Orange County. That place is going to be a place to avoid.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point to go if you don't think you have it,
Yeah.
right? So. I mean, it's
Publix
just gonna be a
adds
bunch of
senior
people.
shopping hours.
Does
Does
gonna-
that mean
click
where
on
only
that, 'cause I
seniors
need-
can come in?
Yeah, for like the first hour that they're open. That's what other places have been doing. I don't know.
From
what
7
Publix
to
is doing.
8, Tuesdays and
Okay.
Wednesdays, customers over 65 are the only ones allowed in.
So grab yourself an old man or an old woman and head down to Publix.
Yeah, but I don't
between
know if you
7
can
a.m.
go in. I don't know if you can go in with them though.
No, you do like you did like at the gas station when you were underage. Give them like a tenner outside, and they just go in
Yeah.
and get what you want. And they come out and they give it to you behind the
Say,
quickie mart.
hey man, can you get me a roll of TP while you're in there? Or like,
Give me a 4-pack of TP.
hey, I just need like a 12-pack of Polars, man. Whatever flavor they got, I'm good.
What
You can
they
keep,
bring out the flavorless ones.
you can keep the change. They
That's
bring out the
funny.
flavors one. I'm done.
They're going back in. That's for sure. They're going back
Bars are closing at I think 5 o'clock now.
in. No, I think they're closed. I think bars are closed. It's over.
Universities are closed.
Yeah, bars are closed. Restaurants are at half capacity. Which I wonder if I think these restaurants are spreading these people out. I haven't really been outside. I haven't really gone anywhere.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of restaurants make you actually sit 6 feet apart.
See, the thing is, like, why don't they just do that all the time? That sounds way better.
Well, when I called Giuseppe's to go get this pizza today, I asked them if they were open and if the dining room was open and everything, and they said they're doing full business.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay.
But I went to Panda Express the other day, and they were not letting people sit down and eat.
Oh, okay.
You could go in, you
Panda
could carry
Express,
out,
really?
you could go through the drive-thru.
Very interesting.
I had to try this
Very.
wood-fired pizza from Giuseppe's.
How was it?
It got a really good one-bite score, so I was very interested.
Is that the pizza right there?
I eat Giuseppe's all the time, man. This is the crust of it.
Oh, I was I just caught a glimpse. I looked over and caught a glimpse of it. I thought it was a really skinny piece of pizza.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Normal type?
Super
Huh?
skinny.
What's good against normal type?
Hey, what's good against normal in Pokemon?
Against normal?
Yeah.
Normal. Duh.
Dub Kid wants to know what is normal type weak to?
It's bad against fighting and ghost and rock and steel.
Pokemon Sword and Shield weakness and strength chart.
Fighting type. Oh no, they're weak against fighting type. I don't think they're good against anything, are they?
Normal is not. What's good against normal, you said?
Yeah.
Only fighting.
No, ghost, rock, and steel too, right?
It says right here, normal, super effective, nothing.
Oh, okay.
Weak against fighting.
Oh, okay. I got you.
What were you looking at?
Some DLTK kids Pokemon battle. Have you played a lot of that Sword and Shield? Sword
I
and
haven't.
Shield?
I haven't.
I started it. I didn't finish it.
I want to play it.
I
You
didn't
know
get
what?
very far.
I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god. Just wait till 2 comes out and just binge them.
All right, Florida universities go online for the rest of the semester.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Bars ordered closed. Restaurants to limit capacity. Yeah, I think bars are just closed. Like, period.
Yeah.
I feel like a bar is more like when you're drunk, you're like leaning on people and coughing in their
It's
faces.
more of a,
And...
it's really a luxury at this point. I mean, come on. You can get beer and drink it at home.
So here we got Orange County 19 cases, Volusia County 9. So we're the second in the country. But we're a big county.
No, we're not the second. Look, Osceola has 13.
Oh, so
We're
we're
like
the third.
or
We're the third.
fourth. Yeah,
But we're a big county, though.
huge.
You think about, do you have sword or shield, Zach?
I have Pokemon Sword, I think.
Oh, you do have sword.
I think so. Let me see. I'll know it from the. I bought it because somebody. Yeah, I have Sword. Somebody on Facebook Marketplace was selling it. They bought both for like a discount and sold one of them cheap.
She wants to trade something with you or something of that nature.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
can get-
I have like the starter Pokemon and like a little rabbit looking thing. I think.
So,
See, the
Uh,
problem is,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know any of the Pokemon past the first gen. Actually,
I only know I'm very
So-
limited past the first gen.
it's like
I could probably name you all 151 from the first generation,
Right.
and after that, I know a few.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
No, I
versed.
don't
Pretty
think I
versed
know
on the
any.
second generation.
Right.
I can tell you the starters. They're like,
See, I don't even know that.
yeah, it's like,
For sure, I don't know that.
and then the third gen, I don't remember. And I get the second and third gen mixed up as well.
Right. No, but I'll start playing it, and then I'll trade you some Pokemon. Better believe it. I'll trade all my Pokemon.
But we're a pretty big county. You know what I mean?
We're a huge. I think we're close to the biggest. Are we? The biggest?
We're also a very spread out county.
Right. There's a lot of open space there on
Like,
I-4
isn't
going out.
Deltona, Orange City, isn't that all still considered Volusia?
Yeah, you better believe it.
So we have all the way up
D-Land,
to
DeLeon Springs,
we have all the way up to like the Ormond mark.
Benel. Benel is, I think,
No,
part of it. Oh no, I guess it's Flagler, isn't it?
Benel's in Flagler, but like all the way up to the end of Ormond by the sea and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes all the way down to like Oak Hill,
Oak Hill, yeah.
and that's just
Yeah.
coastal Volusia.
Yeah, and then you got all out west.
And you go all the way out to Orange City before Sanford.
Yep.
It's a
Yeah, it's huge.
big county.
I'm so dead.
Very spread out county too.
And really, west and east side, there's nothing
In
unless somebody
between.
drives across there. There's no the virus isn't hopping that. So I mean, like, I saw the spread out. Like, did you see Chitwood?
I feel like it's
He was
probably
Facebooking.
coastal.
Chitwood was Facebooking all the actual areas of suspected.
Yeah, they're monitoring
cases.
cases or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
What did that look like? Did we look like we're in the danger zone, or?
I mean, it was spread out. There was 0 in Holly Hill, 0 in Daytona.
I heard there's a few in Port Orange.
There's like 3 in Port Orange, I think. Let's see. Here's the chart. It's 3 in Daytona, 0 in Daytona Beach Shores, 2 in DeBerry, 17 in DeLand.
Okay, so DeLand is where
17.
It's at. We're talking about Western Volusia now.
10 in Ormond Beach, though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but 17, 2 in DeLand Springs, 8 in Deltona. So East Volusia is hit hard, I think. Harder, slightly harder. Edgewater, 0. Holly Hill, 0. Lake Helen, 0. Oh, it goes all the way to Lake Helen. I forgot about that. Port Orange, 6. Orange City, 3. Ponce Inlet, 1. Oak Hill, 0. New Smyrna, 4.
Yeah, Ponce Inlet's a pretty close-knit community. Imagine being that one person.
Right? Oh,
You're
I'm
just
sure they're
shunned
like...
right now. You're shunned like a witch in Salem right now.
But if you're in Ponce Inlet, though, you have like... You know, a lot of people have second homes in Ponce Inlet, and a lot of people like have fucking huge mansions. So I don't think they're too worried. They're like chilling.
True.
They have their own Publix. I mean,
that's all that really matters. As long as you have your own Publix,
right.
I mean,
if you have your own Publix, then you know you're good. You're gravy. What I worry about is these Ormond cases coming to the Holly Hill Publix. That's right on the line.
Don't.
I'm like,
I
get out
don't.
of my
Don't.
Publix, man.
Don't go to Publix in Holly Hill.
Get out of my Publix. What?
Yeah,
that's my Publix.
I wouldn't. Man. I wouldn't go there.
Oh, you like right now? You mean?
Yeah. Don't. Go.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I haven't been anywhere. I showed a house the other day.
I got a Walmart neighborhood market near me.
No, see the Walmart neighborhood market near me, like that's like a nice buffer. They take the really Holly Hillians.
Oh, and the like neighborhood market?
Yeah, the public stays okay.
Oh
be
my
honest
god,
with you.
that neighborhood market. Your neighborhood market compared to my neighborhood market?
Oh, it's night and day.
Yikes.
Night and day.
But see, what's weird is you go deeper into Port Orange and you go to that Walmart.
Yeah.
It's yikes as well.
On where?
Dunlun.
Oh, really?
The big one? Yeah.
I know the one on Bevel is. Whew.
Oh yeah, well, we don't even need to talk about that.
Crazy.
We don't need to talk about that.
I'll drive to the Ormond Walmart all day.
It's better than the Bevel one for sure.
Yeah, I would assume so.
But the Holly Hill neighborhood market is right there on Flemish, man.
Yeah, no, I know. It's horrible.
Yeah, that one is not where you want to be.
No, I'd rather... That's why I go to that Publix. It's like miles ahead of that Walmart.
Where's the Publix?
On US 1, right on the border. It's like literally the border.
Oh, where Sonic is.
Yeah, where Sonic is.
That's pretty decent right there.
No, that's good. It means I don't have to travel too far west, which is nice.
Yeah, that one's not too bad there.
It's pretty good. They got Walgreens across the street and stuff. You know.
So all schools are canceled
until April 15th.
They say that.
Right. It's going to be the rest of the year. Guaranteed. It's going to be the
rest of the year. But
I'm calling it. There's no way.
In 2004, when the hurricanes hit,
they closed it for like 4 months.
They closed it for a couple months and they tacked it on to the end of the school year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then we had makeup days, like teacher duty days were canceled, and this was canceled, and that was canceled.
That was really the shit, though, wasn't it?
I don't know if they're not gonna do that. This is worldwide.
2004. You were in high school by then, right? That was my junior year. That was awesome. Just school is just out.
I think I was in
didn't
middle.
care
I was
about
in middle school. I
hurricane.
think.
Still, you didn't care about hurricanes at that point. You were just probably stoked, right?
No, we were outside with sheets and rollerblades.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
We're real Floridians, man. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
I was in Water's Edge. We had a big sheet, and we both had rollerblades on, me and my cousin. And we were catching the wind, and we were going about 35 probably down the street.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I ate it into the
That's
grass.
what I'm talking about.
It was pretty bad. It was wet grass. He slid. It was fine.
That's the Floridians for you. What about this? This is
You need screen
this is
share?
pretty- No. I'm gonna send you. Actually, I don't even know if I can. Nah. These anyway. The point is, these coronavirus enters my body. The Flintstone vitamin I took. This is a quality meme template right here. Go ahead and Google that real quick because that's cracking me up, man.
Where's my cursor? There it is. Okay.
That's funny.
Can't see anything with these sunglasses on, man.
That's super funny. Just type in coronavirus Flintstone vitamin and you'll see it. These memes are
Oh my god.
these are top quality.
I only have 5 of those things.
That one, oh look at that! It's like a crossover with the little person Keanu Reeves. Yeah, go to the images. Let's see a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty good.
Where?
See, the one I found is better. Look at yeah. Look at the Winnie the Pooh.
Teacher, I
one
need a strong man
the
to help
right.
me. Me who had 18 Flintstone vitamins this morning. This one? When you accidentally
No,
take 2 Flintstone gummy vitamins instead of 1 because they were stuck together.
That's pretty good. No, this one is the one I'm talking about. Though. Hold on, let's see. I'll send.
This one. Coronavirus. Me taking 3 Flintstone vitamins. Blood
That's what I'm
sport,
saying.
man. What a
Bloodsport,
fantastic
damn.
action movie, dude.
Now check that Discord. That's where it's at, really. That's a funny.
This
what I'm
looks like
saying. I
some
got
people at some
Flintstone
shows I
vitamin.
went to back in the day.
Yeah, that dude he's
Guys,
getting ready to windmill.
he's
his way
crowd killing,
across the
dude.
room. He's gonna.
I need to put a soundtrack to this.
That would be good.
Hold on, let me see. This is gonna be a good one here.
That's quality. I don't know why more people aren't watching the stream right now. We're bringing this kind of quality
I got you.
to the table.
Hopefully the VOD doesn't get muted for this like 10 seconds that I have this on. This is actually a good segue too, and I'll get back to that in a second.
You'll segue into the segue.
Yeah. Here we go. Where is it? Here we go. Alright, yeah, that's enough of
Me
that.
up a little bit.
It's enough of that. But that's gonna segue me into alright. Let's go to home screen for now because we not really looking at anything right now. We'll just leave this up here for a little bit. Gotta get you back on cam here. Alright, we're good. That's gonna lead me into the band that I was just playing is actually Code Orange from Pittsburgh.
Okay, that sounded hard enough for me.
They had a pretty large, pretty big production plan for their album release, and their hometown show was canceled by this virus.
So did they drop the album for free?
No.
Basically.
What they did was they refunded the tickets, and they played their hometown show to an empty venue on Twitch.
Oh, this is the band. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's something.
And I don't know
That's the
rules.
future,
I don't really know rules about restreaming, but I mean, if we get DMCA'd or something, we'll explain what happened, or they'll mute our VOD or whatever. But
We didn't mean to. Just mute him. I'm listening to him. If you're listening at home, just pump up the jams while we're watching this.
no, I want to show you like just a little piece of the show. You know what I mean?
See, you know what? This is what it is. These hardcore bands, or I don't really know the subgenres, but I don't like when they sing.
Really?
Is that like a? Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing now.
I know if they're gonna like scream and stuff, I want like.
I like a nice like
guttural.
rock influence if they're gonna do it. You know? What I
No,
mean?
see, I want it to be freaking hard as heck the whole time. No singing, none of this melodic. I want it to be like, what did that dude just say? Is he like
Well,
summoning demons?
that kind of bends the genre into like a Deftones-y sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I like the Deftones, but they sung, so that's weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm a liar.
So this is their.
That's them going with nobody there.
No crowd.
See, I don't know. I guess they're just into it, right?
Super high production value too.
Think they go this hard every jam session, like when they're at that?
I hope so, dude. This is one of those bands that I think they probably do.
They just can't.
Look, this is the
turn it
beginning.
off.
They have visualizers and all kinds of stuff.
Wow. I bet you they couldn't get their deposit back on the venue.
They got like these weird, like early 2000s industrial horror movie visualizers, like it's from The Cell or something.
This looks like, that was bad. Oh, we had technical difficulties. It looks like Linkin Park or something. The Linkin Park video. Okay. This is really... Is the screen like super quiet? Do you have that turned down or something? It's killing me.
Do you have it turned down? Because it's pretty loud on my headphones right now.
Yeah, I must have it turned down.
This is empty venue, live production.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Actually.
Mommy's watching a stream right now.
Why would they, I guess they thought, why not? They just thought,
So
what if this works?
I don't really want to get like in trouble for this or anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that for now. I'm gonna go back to this here, but I was concerned. I was concerned when I first heard about it. I was like, is this gonna be cringy? You know what I
Right.
mean? But for some reason, like,
kind of is.
I mean, Code Orange is one of those bands. Like, they have a Discord.
Oh, okay.
And, like,
yeah. They're on the cutting edge of technology.
The chat was going nuts, and it was equal parts really badass and equal parts hilarious at the same time. Because you know how Twitch chat adds a lot to the stream that you're watching. You know what I mean?
Right.
Depending
Yeah,
on
of
what people are
course.
spamming, you could be cracking up just at the Twitch emotes they're spamming just because it's funny. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah,
So people were like going nuts, man. They were like, "This is awesome!" Like putting up nice riff emotes and like Swift Rage emotes and like all kinds of stuff. Like, and I personally hope the band got some support for it. I hope they got some donos and some bits and stuff because they they had like maybe 13 grand people watching it.
yeah. But I mean, that can't really compare to like if they really had it. You're just saying like somebody showed them some love, basically.
Yeah, no. I hope they got a little something from it. But I mean, there wasn't going to be 13,000 people in that venue.
Right. Yeah. True.
Honestly, it's not the same energy because they're a hardcore band. You know, it's like mosh pit energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at least they could do something. And the production was
Yeah.
cool. Watching it was cool.
No, that's.
And the guy
that's
that films it,
out there.
856, always films like This Is Hardcore Fest and stuff in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And his production quality is usually really, really good. And I watch him because like I like to see the bands play from there because I'm too old. I don't go out to shows and stuff.
Right.
And it's like a really, really good live recording of these bands that I like. You know what I mean?
You just like just hardcore dance in the living room, smash
Yeah, dude, I
dev
like-
kid in the face.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, like it's cool to see. I mean, I know it's not the same. It's obviously not even anywhere near the same thing.
Right. Yeah. But still,
But it's cool to watch. You know what I mean?
you get some of the energy. Yeah. I'm looking at watching this hate 56 video right now on YouTube, and I can feel a little bit of the energy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look up you would probably like Incendiary. Look up Incendiary Hate 56. These guys are like just sort of angry political, like almost kind of classic hardcore, but it's heavier. I'm pretty sure that you would like Incendiary quite a bit.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is pretty good.
It's very like Let's Start a Revolution.
This is very rage feeling.
Yeah. They even do a pretty rad Sabotage Beastie Boys cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I can get on board with this.
They're very anti-religion as well, anti-organized religion as well, which
That's. I can deal with that.
I'm always kind of for that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
That's very.
you were hearing about Code Orange playing this show on Twitch. We're hearing about Patton Oswalt performing stand-up in his front yard.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna see more of this stuff, right?
Oh yeah. This is going to be going on for a bit. I guarantee it.
Everybody's going live, like
Even
know?
when it's dying down, people will be still trying to ride this for a bit. Not that they're riding it right now.
I think
I'm just
bands.
saying, like,
I think bands are gonna start live streaming shows where the crowds are there.
why not? I mean, it's an extra revenue, right?
Extra revenue and it's an extra outreach and it's cool. Do you want to watch the YouTube video of the live show or do you want to watch
Or
it
the-
live? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather watch it live with a bunch of other people
Yeah.
that want to watch it live.
That's very true. That's
You know?
a good point. Yeah.
It's like Bernie was streaming a rally to Twitch.
Right. Oh, really? To Twitch? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bernie was streaming a rally to Twitch. Bernie has a Twitch channel.
Oh, shit.
Obviously,
See, I
some
don't,
20-something is probably running his Twitch channel for him, but
Yeah, I mean, but that's no thing. That's what happened.
it's cool, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So definitely we're going to be seeing more of that for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
You want to talk about this Bernie Biden thing?
Not at all. No. Man, well, Biden wrapped it up, and Bernie is still going to push for his shit that he always does. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? What do you think? You think he still has a shot?
No.
The Burninator?
I think we got 4
There's no
more
way.
years of Trump.
That's for sure. I
And
called
I was
that when he
thinking
got
that,
elected.
yeah, no, from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Because the Democrats are too divided.
Right.
You
Exactly.
can't get behind a candidate.
Yep.
So it's never going to,
That's what it would.
you know.
That's why he won, I think.
If we could have 2 Republicans run against each other, maybe there'd be somebody that could beat him. But
Right.
or if we could have 2 Republicans run against each other, you know, maybe a Democratic candidate comes along that's could beat both of them. But there's no division there.
Right.
And with the Democrats, there is. It's all division.
Well, I mean, the Republicans were really divided when he was running.
Yeah, but
remember?
now it changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they know he's their best shot because people go nuts over his fucking insane things he says. You know? Of course you're going to get... When you get elected by saying those types of things, and then you just one-up yourself every time you go on TV...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like,
you're gonna get
obviously,
reelected.
some people like the guy, some people don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a person. But statistically, before this Corona thing,
Yeah.
how is the country doing? You know what I mean? And that's the real question.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask, because a lot of people would say that Obama handed him a economy that was growing and set in place a lot of policies that he is taking advantage of and stuff. And I mean, all he has to do is say, I mean, Obama gave him a golden ticket by doing healthcare, because all he has to do is say he's going to repeal that, and half of his base just signs up, and the other half signs up when he discriminates against black people. It's just
Okay, fair enough.
It's tough. He's
All right, we'll stay off the politics for now. So,
but I mean, he's done some things that I'm like, okay, that's something that maybe is okay. It's
I
just
mean,
tough.
do we have a mostly Republican Congress right now?
No. 2018, they messed that all up.
Because I know Obama
lost.
had a mostly Republican Congress, and they couldn't get anything done.
It's been going back and
Because
forth
he would just
pretty
fight
regularly.
with them, and they would do this, and he would do that, and they would do this. And
No,
I didn't really take any sides there. I was like, can you guys just do something? Like, they went into like a full government shutdown at one point, didn't they?
yeah, they did that when this time too. I mean, it's how it's been for the past like decade or so. Even more, maybe. It's like one gets elected into the presidency, and he has about 2 years, and then
they roll
all of
the
a
whole
sudden-
Congress over to the other side.
Yeah, and then he says my hands are tied and all this stuff, and then back and forth. So really, just nothing gets done. So like the Dems have, they have a majority in the House right now, and then I think in the Senate, the Republicans still have the majority. But
So I think there's enough political podcasts out there. Let's talk about Star Wars, man.
well, we talk about Trump is like the emperor, man. He just keeps coming up with new stuff to foil the good guys' plans, right?
I mean, depends on who you ask.
Right. No, yeah, Star Wars. You mean the Skywalker saga, or should I say the
The Palpatine saga, yeah. I'm down to really talk about whatever, but the freshest thing in my mind, because I watched it last night, or I didn't watch it last night. I mean, I watched it very, very recently
right?
in theaters. Was The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
I saw it for the second time,
Right.
and
So best one of the Disney trilogy, right?
I gotta say, I didn't hate it.
I'd say it's the best one.
I don't know if it was the best. I mean, Force Awakens was
Which one?
pretty good.
Well, yeah,
I
you
know it
had
was
that
sort of
kind
a I know it was sort of a reboot, but it
right.
it felt right.
Yeah, it did. It fell together.
And then after that, it sort of went off the rails.
Well, let's just say, I mean,
Honestly,
I think
Last Jedi as a standalone movie, I like.
right.
There
Okay.
was some stuff. I mean, yeah, there was some unnecessary things, and honestly, the whole premise of the movie was kind of dumb. But it was pretty entertaining, and that's what I expect from Star Wars nowadays.
I thought The Last Jedi was good. I think that
I think the premise of the
actually,
ship being chased the entire movie was kind of
I thought about that because we were talking about that,
yeah.
and I think that actually that was good. Now, this is the reason. It had like an underlying, at least I think this is what they're going for. Underlying anxiety of like they're running. I mean, it was literally a chase, and then all these other things were going on. So I didn't like it at first, but now I think it might have been a decent.
So was the here's my question.
Mhm.
Was the biggest mistake going into this thing making a reboot movie essentially that worked, you know what I mean? It was decent. Right. It was very decent. And then changing the whole thing, flipping the script to a different director, different premise completely pretty much. And then coming back around and trying to bring it back into Force Awakens 2. Was that the biggest mistake they made?
You mean like because it felt disconnected as a
yes,
trilogy?
It felt very disconnected as a trilogy.
To me, the original trilogy felt disconnected in a way.
I don't know. The cinematography was the same the entire time.
Yeah, but if you go back and you watch New Hope and Empire Strikes Back to back, it's like I don't know. It just feels different.
I mean, I'll stand behind this, and I used to think it was my favorite, but Return of the Jedi is kind of trash.
Yeah, it's very campy. It's like, well, I mean, our generation looks at the original trilogy as like the go-to, but original Star Wars fans were like pissed. Some of them were pissed when even Empire came out, but more so Return of the Jedi because it was like just playing to the fans.
Already. At that point, they were already fan servicing.
I mean, that's already, it had been a few, it had been a decade or something.
That's why I feel like even with like the pretty,
or like, less
even with like the terrible acting, most of it, and this kind of silly things that they added into the prequel trilogy, I feel like it did not bend to the will of the fans like the original trilogy or the new trilogy did.
Yeah. I think the prequels, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I know there's a whole movie, whether it's memes or not memes, prequels were good. Prequels are standalone good movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and watch it, and some of the acting is just like terrible, man.
Yeah, but it's not for me.
Like Hayden Christensen.
Star Wars was never about the act. Yeah, it's hard. He got a Razzie for that, didn't he? I mean,
probably.
But the story is good. It's like a real.
I mean, that's what I like about Star Wars. I consider myself a humongous Star Wars fan.
Right.
But as far as the movies go, I watch them because I like the idea. And I don't hate the movies by any means. I like, right. I'll say it now, I like every single one.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not very good. And they never really have been.
See, I don't know. I think they...
I mean, they're not like Lord of the Rings good.
No, I'm a bit more of a casual observer. So to me, the movies are the story that I have to go off of. So, to me,
I just like the idea. The universe
I think
feels like it is an entity. It
I think
is
everybody
a thing. It is a
yeah.
fictional creation, but it is real in that sense.
Well, I think after the first one, after A New Hope, I think most fans have just been going off of that. It's like they were so hyped off of A New Hope that they rode what 3 decades and like 6 movies later, 7, 8
Almost 4 decades
movies
now.
later. Yeah, I think
And it's
that movie alone
still going.
they rode that all the way down.
It's still going, and they've made critically acclaimed video games, and they've made
Right.
comic books, and they've made cartoons, and they've made. But I guess what we're really looking at is what's next.
I'm excited because I think
I'm
now
cautiously optimistic.
right. I'm always way too optimistic though. I mean, shall we say Fallout 76? You know.
Oh my
but
lord.
but anyway, no. I think I'm just interested because really I was a Star Wars fan my whole life, but now I'm starting to consider myself like a real Star Wars fan, and I'm thinking like they're gonna bust
There's
out
definitely multiple fandoms for Star Wars.
some stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a casual fandom that loves the movies.
Right.
All
Which
of them.
I'm on that, but I'm verging on, I think, crossing over to a more
And then there's a very
advanced
deep internet fandom who is very upset that Legends or the extended universe are no longer canon.
Right.
And I think I fall somewhere in between.
Right. So you're
I think
not
some of the
like an
Legends stuff,
extremist.
some of the EU stuff, it was good and it's a good addition to the story, but some of it also just it was nonsense.
So then, in your mind, then this is a question for you, because I'm not familiar with any of the outside info. Let's put it that way. I'm movies and based on your recommendation, I just started watching Clone Wars. But in your mind, what I think of Luke Skywalker when I think of Star Wars. What do you think of Star Wars?
What do I think of when I think of Star Wars?
I think of like Luke's struggle, basically. Luke's come up, you know?
When I think of Star Wars, the first thing that comes to mind is not Luke Skywalker.
See, that's why I'm a casual and you're, like you said, in between.
Even when it comes to this saga, for me, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Star Wars is probably Anakin.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Well,
really,
it's more his story, really.
to me, this is his story. And
Okay, but what
Luke
about
is just a continuation of that story.
Right, and that makes sense once you bring the in. But I spent
I feel like the original trilogy, it felt like Luke's story, but I really feel like it was the story of Darth Vader.
Right, it was an arc for him, even though we didn't really have a visual of his beginnings.
Until the prequels came out, it might have not felt like that.
Right.
But when I'm thinking of the prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars, including the show, I'm thinking of Anakin Skywalker.
Right. You've had more exposure to.
And when I'm thinking of the
Anakin
original
overall.
trilogy, I'm thinking a continuation of what he had done. But honestly, this is all about Palpatine.
Yeah, I was about to say, what about the Disney trilogy? It flips everything. Now,
Yeah, but
it's
there's
not
still
about
so much
anybody.
callback to the things that Anakin has done.
I didn't feel like he had a real presence. I mean,
Only with Kylo. I mean,
yeah, but he was like an afterthought. He was like, that's how I felt. Even with Kylo, it was like I kept forgetting that he was his grandfather.
yeah, but I just feel like
Yeah.
it's Anakin's story is the ultimate redemption arc. You go from nothing and you fall all the way down, and then at the end you redeem yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even
but
though it's too little,
did
too
he?
late,
Did he really redeem himself? I guess he did. It was all at the counts type of deal, or when he was like as a Force ghost or something.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's too little, too late. Like the point is, like he tried and he came back from. I don't think, from what I've seen or read, that any Sith or Dark Jedi has ever converted back, other than Anakin Skywalker, who was said to be the chosen one, and who was said to bring balance to the Force.
Right.
People
And he
convert,
did.
but
I
they
mean, he
don't
did,
convert
right?
back.
Right.
I guess
They
Kylo,
either,
but
yeah. That's why it was a remake or like a. That's why they said, you know, it was shot for shot, basically.
I mean, I really, with Rise of Skywalker, like, yeah, there were some things wrong with it, but the whole Ben Solo thing was pretty awesome to me. I liked that a lot.
What about the kiss?
I got the
Huh?
feels from it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it
Me
was
too.
romantic though.
Friend zone.
I feel like it was a moment of relief, a moment of triumph, and that moment was shared because of their experiences shared from the beginning of this trilogy.
Yeah, but like, I mean, do they not have high fives in Star Wars universe?
I mean, with the coronavirus
Like-
going around, I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, you know what? I just didn't.
I guess
felt
even
like
if it's romantic, I'm okay with it. I mean,
well, I think it had to be. I mean,
I've
it
never
was,
been a
obviously.
fan. I've never personally been a fan of the idea of the very militant Jedi Order as peacekeepers, as like Catholic priests almost, where they don't take a wife, they don't, you know.
They're like the Night's Watch, basically. So you don't like that.
Yeah.
So you
they're-
think you would be? This is something I just learned about, actually. So would you be a gray Jedi then?
well,
You think if you were in the universe?
gray is, well, that depends on if I'm force sensitive or not. First of all.
Well, let's assume we're both force sensitive. This is a podcast. So you're force sensitive, just normal. You got like 30 of those mitochondria and things.
Don't start about
so you-
midichlorians, dude. People are gonna
So-
explode on you.
No, you're force sensitive.
Say I'm an average powered
Jedi.
force
You're a
sensitive.
Jedi.
For a lot of these people, it depends on where they ended up in childhood.
Okay.
But
yeah.
with that, we're
Of
talking
course.
about. We're not talking about the Skywalker trilogy, because with the whole Darth Bane rule of two, cancel out all the other Sith thing. You can only be one. There can only be two. Nobody is born into the Sith Order.
Star. Okay, so let's say
If we
you
go
know,
further back to like the Old Republic, which goes into Legends and goes into
that's
the games,
yeah.
you know, the Knights of the Old Republic, people are born there or sold into slavery there, or people end up where they end up, and that's why that's such a
to the Sith.
like,
You mean
like
both?
the MMO Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's why it has such a good dynamic as a single player game. Is you can start as a Sith, or you can start as a Jedi or a Republic, and you can still pick the options to be a good Sith, a quote unquote good Sith, or a bad Jedi.
Right. Okay. But okay, so what do you think?
More
you would
about
lean
where you
towards?
start than where you end up. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's say you're just force sensitive, and you know,
If I ended up
the
being
old
trained,
Jedi.
if I ended up being trained at the Jedi Temple,
Yeah.
I think I would decline a lot of the things that they believe.
So you wouldn't like try for the council and all that stuff. Then
I don't think so.
you'd be like a Qui-Gon Jinn,
Yeah,
because he was kind of like a rebel, wasn't he?
Yeah, fairly. He disobeyed them a lot, but he had never had ill intent though.
I think he's the reason that we got a Darth Vader. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, see, with Qui-Gon Jinn, he succeeded in something that he wanted to do again.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes into the novels.
Oh, okay. So
Obi-Wan
I have
Kenobi in training was a very, very angry, powerful child.
Really?
And Qui-Gon, they didn't want him to be trained. Qui-Gon took him under his wing
Right. I
and
know
trained
that.
him, and he became a very, very devout Jedi.
Right.
But
Yeah, and he was even telling Qui-Gon Jinn, I remember in the Phantom
even
Menace,
as
like, hey,
a devout
fuck
Jedi,
up. Mhm.
even as a devout Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi still disobeyed a lot of the rules.
He seemed pretty loose and fast with the rules in what I've seen of Clone Wars. So
Yes.
he's always like, come on, Anakin, you should do the right thing. And then he's like, well, you saved the day. No harm, no foul. He's like really just
And
like.
Anakin
whatever.
learned that from him.
And I think, it sounds like he learned it from Qui-Gon Jinn. So who trained Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yoda.
So
I believe it was Yoda.
But doesn't he train everyone though?
I mean, in passing.
Okay. But then you take on a master Padawan relationship with one specific.
I believe so. Let me see.
So like we're looking at Yoda as the reason that everything went down, right?
What is this? Alright.
It's like we don't know.
Did Yoda...
Okay, here it is. Hold on. No, it isn't, but Master Dooku.
Oh, that was Yoda's apprentice.
Yeah. So it goes Yoda, Dooku, Jin,
Who
Kenobi,
trained Qui-Gon Jinn?
Anakin. That's what I'm saying, Dooku.
Really?
Yeah. That's what it's saying. On Korra. Korra knows, man. I think I remember that, right?
Jin was mentored by Dooku and later became the mentor to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I guess so.
So it goes Yoda, Dooku, Jin, Kenobi, Skywalker. Right? Kenobi Skywalker times 2. And then Skywalker to... Right?
Wait, Kenobi Skywalker times 2? How?
Because Kenobi trained both Skywalkers, right?
Well, technically, Kenobi just got Luke to Yoda.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But did Luke never finished his training, right? Oh, that's covered. Who did he do it with?
He
Force
comes
Ghosts?
back. He finished his training with Yoda.
No, because when he comes back, Yoda's dying, bro.
Oh, that's right. I think he completed his training on his own.
That's what they cover in the new one.
I think he completed his training with Force Ghosts, yeah.
And then he trains Leia.
He starts to.
It's revealed. Do you think did she finish her training or
No.
So Rey didn't either, right?
I mean, not really.
So
But-
they're
but-
not even Jedis.
According to a lot of the Knights of the Old Republic stuff, the Force really trains you.
So it's not like a real. This is just some new school regimental.
Yeah, I mean, there was
Jedi
academies and everything
propaganda.
else, but sometimes the more powerful ones would be called on by the Force to do special things that they didn't expect, and they believe that the Force moves the way that it wants to move, like the saying, the Lord moves in mysterious ways or whatever, you know what I mean? The Force
Right.
binds all living things together, and sometimes the Force calls a person to do something else, and then the council could then decide, oh well, because this came about, this this could be the end of your training. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's on a, and then they meditate on it, and it's on a kind of basis like that.
So, are they okay? So now Skywalker trilogy, if you would, is done. Are the Jedi's done? Who's alive?
Rey.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is she a? She's not a traditional Jedi, really.
She's not a traditional Jedi. I mean, she kind of is, though.
So, do you think she's gonna go out? Because they hinted at it.
Yes, I do think that
So-
she's going to find Force-sensitive children, and she's going to start to train them, who are then going to
So she's
train more
gonna-
generations, who are going to train more generations.
Okay.
I do believe
Okay.
that some semblance of the Jedi Order will live on.
So we might have that to look forward to in like 30. Then Rey comes back.
Possibly.
She's got her own crew. Palpatine's back again.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
I think they're gonna.
No, but the
milk
thing
that
is, in the
for-
Force, like, there's always got to be a balance. So, and you'll see this when
there's not right now.
there's a few episodes of Clone Wars that are really important to this topic. And
Okay.
I believe you haven't seen them yet, but there's like
I'm still in the beginning, pretty much.
well, I won't give away too much, but basically there's like these ancient mystic beings that live in another plane,
Okay.
and it's a father and a daughter and a son. And the father is very much central, and the daughter is very much light, and the son is very much dark.
Okay.
And it kind of describes how balance needs to be kept and everything. It's something definitely to watch and look into, but and it's got a lot to do with Anakin and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, and you know, but
All right. Well, I gotta finish up. On Saturday nights, I watch a few episodes. So
a couple interesting episodes there that pertain to that. But
right now, it's just strictly. I'm still on season 1. It's just like some battles and stuff.
I mean, they do arcs. You know what I mean?
Some, yeah.
There's
some
he-
Anakin escapades.
There's heavy clone arcs, and there's heavy Anakin Obi-Wan arcs, and there's heavy Padme arcs, and there's some Jar Jar stuff going on in there. And yeah,
Yeah. I had my first central episode the
there's a
other
couple
night.
characters that are introduced, like Asajj Ventress, and
Adventures.
yeah, that's Dooku's assassin, the bald one.
Oh yeah.
And she opens up a lot more of the lore to be canon. And there's
She's
Ahsoka, and
she's pretty good. That Asajj, I like her as a.
yeah, she opens up a lot more of the lore of old Star Wars to be canon, with where she came from and everything. So that's something else to look into. But where was I? I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Oh, the balance.
The balance, right?
Force. It, to me, everything that happens in Star Wars, because of the way that their universe is going to happen.
Right. Okay.
Time-
So it's all predestined.
Time is linear.
Predestiny.
It doesn't branch off. You don't create other realities. You know, there's quantum theories and things that say one decision that you make could split a timeline into alternate realities of where that decision wasn't made or was made.
Right.
I believe that in Star Wars it doesn't work like that. I believe it's very linear. And that if something's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Interesting.
But they've never
So it's all
introduced
predestined.
any, that's one thing, is in Star Wars they've never introduced any time travel.
Okay. Look,
And in
now that
science
Disney-
fiction, time travel is always what messes that up.
Right.
Always.
It's true. I'm gonna call it that they're gonna do some sort of. It feels so wrong for the for Star Wars in general, but they're gonna do some sort of split, like, and then because Star Trek did that. They did a little time travel in the reboots, and now they can just do whatever they want. Nothing matters.
Yeah, but I'm really not a fan of that.
No,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed those while I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
With the old Spock and the young Spock.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
now looking back on it, I'm just not a fan of that.
It's a cheap way to do it, It's like, but it works, obviously. But I don't know. I don't
Sort
think
of like a Flashpoint paradox thing.
Right.
Barry Allen can go back in time and he changes one thing and the whole universe changes, and that's why I think a lot of that's really convoluted. And now Marvel has done the same thing in the MCU.
Right.
And that's how like Loki's gonna get a show even though he's dead.
Oh.
Because in Endgame he escapes with the obelisk thing, and he's gonna be going through historical. That's gonna be a good show, by the way. I think the premise is Loki, like original Loki before he had that like character development that he had in the MCU. Just going through like historical events and like doing crazy Loki chaotic stuff and influencing like real historical events. You know what I mean?
So is he gonna be like a good guy or a bad guy?
I have no idea. I just know
Okay.
that the premise is going to be like based on real historical events, sort of like how they do with Doctor Who sometimes,
Oh yeah, okay.
where like Doctor Who is hanging out with Winston Churchill or like Agatha
Right.
Christie or Vincent Van Gogh, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Point is, there's always supposed to be this balance, and with Disney, if they continue the story, I know they're going back to like the High Republic or whatever. I don't know if they're gonna do movies there, anything. I'm not too interested in that because I really want a thriving Sith and Jedi, Empire and Republic story, sort of like Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to both be thriving in different parts of the galaxy and be at war with each other. That was
Right,
always a
yeah.
very interesting dynamic to me. There's not just
Right.
two Sith. There's like an army of Sith and an army of Jedi who either enforce or peacekeep their sides of the galaxy and their controlled planets for the Republic or the Empire. So the High Republic, I don't know about that, but if they ever do go further down the line from this Rise of Skywalker, I do think that they could redeem, if they do it well, what a lot of people are disappointed with. And bring
yeah.
in Rey, not necessarily as a main character, but as like an introductory sort of character. And then
To
a whole
the new stuff.
new villains that worship possibly the old Sith gods or the old Sith lords that they've made in their minds as gods, and worship the darkness of the Force. And then she would have a more lighter side of the Force that aren't necessarily Republic soldiers.
Right. Just
There's a
light side.
lot that they could do with it.
Yeah, well, who knows? They could do anything they want now.
But I think with Palpatine, with the
Disney's
death
got it.
with the death of Palpatine, I think in that dies with him the rule of two and that whole old
I was
Sith.
about to say that. Yeah. Because didn't somebody directly with him started that, right? Who started that
it was
rule of
Darth
two?
Bane.
But didn't he have something to do with Plagueis? Or no, it was even further back. It's like way far back.
Yeah, it's fairly far back.
Well, anyway, so I think that's
So
crucial because
the Sith killed each other, victims of their own greed, but from the ashes of destruction, I was the last survivor. So he was last man standing, and then he decided,
right.
we're only going to have two. We're going to have a master and apprentice. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it was 1,000 years. Clone War.
Yeah.
Clone Wars. Okay, gotcha. So for 1,000 years, but with people living, I mean, these Sith say time. So, what is this Yoda? What is this Yoda Star Wars teaser trailer? Is that for real?
That's fan made. It's got to be.
So
Now, I think if they
that's-
do get into like High Republic movies or shows or anything, I think there will be a young Yoda,
He'll
because
be in
Yoda
his heyday.
is said to be about 900. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think they're only going about 800 or so years back. You have a young 100-year-old Yoda. And then with the
Well, they said
Mandalorian.
200 years. 200 years prior. Basically.
Oh, only 200?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I was
Well,
just
that's
looking
gonna
at
be
the
a
Star Wars,
that's gonna
the
be a
High
pretty
Republic.
pretty heyday Yoda, I would say.
He's gonna be doing it.
Because the child in the Mandalorian is 50,
Right.
and he behaves like a toddler.
Yeah, so he's gonna be a young buck. I wonder if they're gonna have him with like a mullet and like a Camaro. He's gonna like
And like a mustache.
he's gonna like do donuts in the council room and like be
I can't see him as like a rebel though.
right. But I think they could do it and win Star Wars for everyone. They would make money off it.
I don't see him having like a rebellious phase. But he's lived 900 years, so maybe he did. Maybe for like 50
never know.
years. Maybe for 50 years he was
He smokes a lot of pot.
he was the
He
man
doesn't-
for 50 years.
he
You know what I mean?
doesn't- right, yeah. He's got a bunch of girls.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
I
thing
think
is, all of the Jedi, they say you can't take wives and all this stuff. So, and that's been going on for a
Yeah.
long, long time. And I'm hoping that's another thing that's renounced with the whole revamp. And I think they have a big opportunity. I don't know what. I really want them to go into something after this Rise of Skywalker.
Right. Some uncharted territory. Now, is there anything from the extended universe that takes place after the Skywalker?
I don't
trilogy?
believe so. No, I think it's all
So
before.
it's uncharted.
It's Uncharted.
So it's like they can do whatever they want. So it really matters who gets control, like,
Yeah.
of this stuff now at this point.
Who would
They're writing new
you
stuff.
like to see direct a Star Wars movie? This is a good topic.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I could see some interesting. Nobody comes to mind like Peter Jackson.
You
or
have like a
something?
Peter Jackson with a much
Yeah.
more lore centric, dialogue centric Star Wars. You have like a James Cameron with a very epic
thematic, like
thematic Star Wars.
big.
You have like a Christopher Nolan who puts like a more modern twist on it.
Hold on, pause that thought real quick.
Talk about this a little bit more when he gets back, but I think we're getting in some good stuff here tonight. It's been a good first episode so far. As you can tell, we're just kind of winging it.
Okay.
I think it's going to become something pretty
A little
cool.
dog fiasco. Okay, so that might be. I think Christopher Nolan. What did he do? He did the.
He did the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception.
Yeah, see, I could see that, but it doesn't really fit. I don't think even what's his name fits.
James Cameron.
No. Why can't I think of his name? JJ.
Well,
I don't think his style works.
I really feel
for
like JJ. I don't know, man. It's hard because JJ's done some good original works.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep handing him all this stuff to reboot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what was that? Super 8, I think, was JJ.
Yeah, that was
It
pretty
was
good.
original. I think JJ did like Fringe.
Cloverfield.
Didn't JJ do Fringe?
Maybe. Is
Show
that's a
Fringe?
show?
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi show. Not on the Sci-Fi Channel,
Yes.
but I think that's something that you'd be interested in. But I think they ended it prematurely.
Yeah, I think he did.
That's the sad thing about a lot of these directors and stuff that Star Wars, Marvel, and everybody's using
Mm-hmm.
came from like failures that did not deserve to be failures.
Right.
If you think about like some of the original Avengers stuff in the MCU when it first started happening, Joss Whedon was heavily involved, and he did like Firefly and Buffy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Firefly flopped, and it was so original that it didn't deserve to flop.
Right.
But why are we giving these people reboots when we could let them make new things?
You know who I want to see direct is anybody who's involved with the Mandalorian. Actually,
I mean, and everybody says that, and I tend to agree. But how good are these people going to be with epic sagas as opposed to self-containing
Shows.
stories?
right. Well, I mean,
Favreau. Okay, so Favreau is very successful in nerd culture.
right.
Favreau directed the first Iron Man.
He's hot right now, you know.
Favreau kicked off the entire MCU. And the first Iron Man was fantastic. It was like, it completely revitalized the superhero movie. If you see anything before Iron Man, it was very campy. It was very niche. It was very superhero.
Right, yeah.
And then Iron Man came out, and it was a very relatable, action-packed action movie that just happened to be a superhero movie.
Right. Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good on its own.
And then the other person that's involved with The Mandalorian is Dave Filoni, who is the showrunner for Clone Wars.
So he might be a good candidate then.
And who is also the showrunner for Avatar The Last Airbender.
And the showrunner, they do everything.
They do everything.
I mean, they put it together. They decide.
They're like lead director, lead cinematographer, lead writer sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
They sort of it's just a term that encompasses being the head of everything, as opposed to having a writing team and a directorial team and a cinematography team. They have all those things, but the showrunner is like has a say in everything.
Right. Yeah.
And Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of the best fictional stories ever told, and it was a kid's cartoon.
Right.
It had some of the realest, most relatable moments ever in television history, or in fiction history in general.
So that might be.
And that's kind of what I like with this Rise of Skywalker thing.
Right.
There's a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it didn't really take off that well, but it was still very good. It was called The Legend of Korra.
Right.
And the legacy, because the way that the Avatar universe works is every Avatar lives in the next Avatar. And the Avatar is master of all four of the elements who keeps balance among the nations.
So
Fire
like the
Nation,
like the
Earth
Buddha.
Nation. Yeah, it's
kinda
very,
like
very similar.
Okay, I got you.
He's master of fire, water, earth, and air, when usually benders can only master one of those things. And these nations, they go into war, or they went into war when the Avatar disappeared. Avatar Roku, who was the Avatar before Aang, who was the main character of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So it's just a continuation.
The legacy of that show carried on into The Legend of Korra, and only one or two characters were still alive when that show came around. And they're in it, but they're side characters in it, which gives me that idea of Rey being an older weathered character of
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Any of these movies days, especially Disney, I know is gonna do it. Um, these appearances, like when they brought out Han Solo,
Yeah.
they love those things. That they'll ride that for an entire movie. I feel like.
Well, yeah, there's got
So
to
if
be
they do
some
something
with
like that,
things like Star Wars and with things like Star Wars and things of the like. There's got to be some like fan service.
right?
There just has to be, like the Darth Maul cameo at the end of Solo.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's got to be something in there that's like,
Fans can be like, "Oh my god, did you see that?"
yeah, just like every Marvel Easter egg in the credits.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, they show the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos putting it on. Oh, they show Thor's hammer in the credit scene. Oh, they show this in the credit scene, that in the credit scene. There's got to be some kind of hype for the next thing to come.
People love that stuff too. They really eat it up, even when
But
it feels like
because
campy.
the way that the MCU did it right, though, is in Infinity War and Endgame, which were the last two of the saga, the
Right.
last two of the phase of Marvel, they didn't
Mm-hmm.
put end credit scenes.
Right.
And all that said to people was like, this is the end of this.
Be prepared for nothing.
This is the end of this. We might do something else, but we're not going
Right.
to like segue it into it. You know what I mean? And then with the newest Spider-Man
think is
movie,
good.
there was callbacks, but it was very much like its own entity, moving into
Right.
the next step for Spider-Man.
I think they got to do that because it's like, they didn't do that with Star Wars. I don't think. I think it kind of felt like this is going to segue into something else.
Yeah, and it just sort of happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't think anyone expected
I have a what?
this trilogy.
And what?
Yeah.
Nobody
There's no
even
way.
expected the prequel trilogy.
Right.
There was no hype for it.
Yeah. I
It
remember
was
it.
Star
was
Wars,
like-
and then there was Star Wars Extended Universe stuff. There was books, there was games, there was all this stuff. There was lightsaber
Right.
toys on the shelves, and that they rode that out for 2 decades at least.
Right.
And then they said, let's dive in a little bit more and let's do a prequel one. And
Mhm.
with all the faults of the first 2 of those movies, they were very much original and yet still part of that trilogy.
Right.
There was a cohesion and a separation that existed between those 3 movies. And it didn't feel as organic in these ones.
No, definitely, because it felt. I think that goes back to for the middle one, the second one. I think you're right. It felt different. Felt very.
It felt separated.
It did. It was good. I'm not going to hate on it just to hate on it, but I don't
Well,
think it was the.
anyways, I went back and I watched The Rise of Skywalker, which is how we got onto this topic in the first place. And
Right.
there was some questionable parts, and it was kind of jumpy and jotty, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was everything
I agree.
it was everything I wanted from a Star Wars movie. I mean, there were some feels, there were some good fights, there was some evil, there was some good, there was some
were some
very
good fights.
apparent evil and good coming together to battle each other. There was
Right.
some callback. There was some fan service, obviously, like a lot of it.
Had to be.
The introduction of new characters was very, very sloppy.
Who was new?
I mean, they
They
introduced
just
like
threw a bunch of people in, right?
like a couple random chicks just to say that like, hey, listen, Finn and Poe
They're
are
support
boys, but
chicks.
like they're not gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They added like that one chick that Finn was like digging on, and they added the other chick that like had a history with Poe.
Right.
It was like, listen, like they're platonic friends. They're not gay together. Like,
Was that like a thing?
I don't know.
even see-
I mean, I'm sure
I'm sure it
I'm sure
was.
shippers out there make, Finn Poe stuff.
That's probably hot, right?
I really wouldn't mind if they did end up being gay. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they seemed like they had sort of that chemistry there, and that would have been more organic than what they actually did, at least.
Right.
And all the more right people would have said, "Oh, this is bull," but like it almost felt like that would be the organic conclusion. You know what I mean? Of
Right,
that whole
yeah.
thing, like, because Finn's
But
like in
what-
love
I
with
mean, I don't
Ray,
know.
and like
I don't know if any.
It just
I
feels
guess
very
there would be
sloppy
some
with-
fans.
it just feels very sloppy with the Finn in love with Ray, Ray in love with Ben, Ben in
Right.
love with Ray,
Been in love with himself.
Ben in love with Vader, Poe in love with himself. Like,
Poe in love with.
I mean, in the original
Rey.
trilogy, it was very cut and dry.
Well, was it though?
Yeah, because it was like
Luke and
it was
Luke
like
in
Han. It was
Leia.
like Han in love with Leia,
Luke in love with Leia. I mean,
Luke
come on.
in love with Leia, Leia in love with Luke.
Leia in love with Han.
Leia discovers Luke's her brother, so she says nope to that one.
Everyone's in love with Chewie.
And then basically Leia settled for Han because she found out Luke was her brother.
Yeah, it did seem kind of like settling.
Yeah, it was like, well, you're my brother, so that's weird. I'm just gonna, this guy's
this
into
guy.
me. You know what I mean?
This guy's been around for a while, for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a convoluted love story that never was a love story, I
Pretty
guess.
sloppy.
Yeah.
Pretty sloppy all throughout. And obviously, I mean, when you get more into Clone Wars, you'll see that Obi-Wan was definitely in love with someone. But I don't know if they ever had a real physical relationship or anything, but he definitely had feelings, you know what I mean?
So maybe that's where his rebel side comes from. I mean, I haven't seen it, so. But
I mean, I think that's partially in my head canon because they don't think this stuff out. They just kind of make it. I think that's a lot of the reason why he sympathized with Anakin's situation with Padme, and he knew longer than he led on about that whole thing. I'm sure
right. Yeah. It would make sense.
he cared about him. He was attached to him. When Jedis
Right.
aren't supposed to have, because a true Jedi, true Jedi, like by the book,
Doesn't care.
has no attachment.
Ties. Right.
They are
See, that
there
seems kinda...
to enforce the good without in a completely selfless way.
Right. I think that's what people. I don't think people want that. I think.
I mean, but
Anakin
that's sort of what
is
like
such a
certain
good-
Jedi in like the prequel trilogy felt like that. Like
Yoda feels like that
like Mace Windu.
to me. Oh,
Mace Windu feels
yeah,
very much like that.
for sure.
Very militant Jedi who doesn't attach himself to anyone else.
Right. No, I think so. But Yoda feels like that. Sometimes Yoda, like in the prequels, I think, do you not care about these people, bro?
But that's kind of
Like-
how it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. I get
Like
that. now.
I guess there could be compassion, but not passion. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. That's why Anakin got so screwed up.
An attachment is against everything that they stand for. Emotional attachment.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very fine
you know,
line.
That's like Obi-Wan. He did him in. That was he's a true Jedi then, you know. Despite his rebel side, he was able to.
Yeah, well, he
Cut
wasn't a
Tony's
true
spoil.
Jedi because he wouldn't have felt anything about it when he did it.
Right. Okay.
But he was true to his
to the
beliefs,
cause. Right.
100%.
Do as I do, not as I say.
He defended
basically.
himself. He defended himself, and in turn thought he was going to defend the galaxy by killing his best friend,
Right.
which he
Leaving
didn't
him
kill.
for dead. Well, I mean,
And that's why they all went into exile, and that's why Yoda left, because he failed. Yoda failed.
right,
100%. He did not see the plot because Palpatine was too strong in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
He did not see what was happening in front of him as it happened. And he even had a feeling,
He tried at the beginning.
but he didn't
tried.
see it take shape
Right.
until it was too late.
That's true. He messed up, man. This is
Yeah.
all Yoda's fault, really.
Uh,
I mean, he was the one that was
and it's
supposed to be.
Palpatine's doing. I don't think anyone's
but-
really at fault.
I would say Yoda. I say we blame Yoda.
I don't want to, because he's such an iconic, like, force for good.
We blame
But
Yoda.
he
and we take him
definitely failed.
out. Yeah.
He
No,
failed the
that's,
galaxy.
That's a good point. So we hate Yoda now. Okay.
But he redeemed himself as well.
As a Force ghost.
He said, "I'd never train anyone else ever again."
Oh,
Went into
he
exile.
failed that too.
And then he trained Luke.
He failed
And then
again.
Luke brought balance to the... Well, Luke didn't bring balance to the Force, and this is why I keep coming back to Anakin being the main character of at least the first 6 movies. It's
Right.
because Luke was only a catalyst in Anakin bringing balance to the Force.
Right. Yeah.
And that's another
really-
reason why a lot of people hated the whole Palpatine thing, was because that was
Because-
such a large redemption arc, and
Mhm.
it kind of all meant nothing.
Right.
But I don't believe, and they need to explain this more and elaborate on it, I don't believe that Palp's brought himself back.
Ooh, there's another.
No, I just
So
believe
you're
that's
trying
some
to
kind
tell
of Sith cult or something. You saw all those thousands of people in those stands on Exegol.
Yeah.
Some kind of
I know,
Sith
but they
cult
were inside
cloning
of him.
stuff brought him back. You know what I mean?
Or maybe rule. Because okay, so Snow.
He created Snoke.
We
He
don't
said-
even. Yeah.
He said
right,
that
but
in the
he's
movie
not
that he created Snoke.
right. But I mean, created like actually created in a lab, or created like apprentice.
I
We don't
mean,
know, right?
no, he created him in a lab.
So okay, so he created him in the lab. So
Because
rule
when
of two. Who's
you
the
watch
other one?
if you watch closely in the movie,
He's in
you
the- I know he's
see
in
a
the
bunch of
tube.
Snokes in the tanks.
Yeah, but was that just to like duplicate him in case things went wrong, or? Well, anyway, so
I
who's the
think it
second
was made
one?
from Palp's DNA. But there had to be some kind of mastermind to bring Palps back in the first place.
Rule of two, right? I mean,
Yeah, but I don't feel like it was. I honestly don't feel like it was someone Force sensitive.
so you think it was just like a Sith?
I just think it was someone who like worshipped him and was like a scientist and found his body somewhere and cloned him and brought his body back or whatever. You know what I mean?
So we could theoretically go into a non-Force centric sequel where they kind of maybe go into that avenue.
I mean, I would like, you know how there's a Solo story and there's a Rogue One? I would really
Right, yeah,
love
yeah.
to see a Palpatine one.
Like pre or post? I mean, he's dead now, but
Either way,
it'd have to be pre
I would
or
like to
during.
s-
I mean, pre
I would
or
like to
during.
see both.
Yeah, I would like to
I would
see
like
how
to
he
see
got that
a
kid.
I would like to see a pre Darth Plagueis young Palpatine.
Yeah,
This is what we were talking about when we went to get coffee.
right. Yeah. That
I would
be a
like to
good
see
one.
that. I would
But
like to
could you
see
have
in
a
between.
bad guy as the star, though? I mean, I guess you can, obviously. That.
You can, if you do it right. You still need some kind of sympathetic character. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe they make him into the sympathetic character.
Right? Maybe. He starts out like
Like, say what you want about Blizzard and like Warcraft lore, but they are very, very good at making you ride the fence on the villains.
Right.
These
So we
villains,
could see-
every one of these
we
villains
could-
were born from like some sort of personal tragedy.
Right, yeah. We could see basically them make Palpatine into a good guy, basically. Like
Or just misguided.
right, mistreated into Sithdom.
Yeah, and then we have somebody else to blame for this whole thing.
And then the story goes on forever and ever.
Yeah. And then whoever did him, they were mistreated too.
Right.
It's human
Until
nature.
you get back to like the original.
I feel like a lot of evil stems, a lot of quote unquote evil stems from a need for vengeance.
Right. But who started it all, though? That's the thing.
The devil. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. They just go straight up, all out, full like
Full
Catholic.
Christian, full
there's
Christian,
just demonic possession
all the way
and
to the
stuff.
devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some sort of devil-like being. You know what I mean? I mean, the devil.
Well,
Satan just represents
be
evil,
the-
so.
Yeah. It could be like the dark.
But even
You know, there
even
may be-
Satan was a good guy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. He was just a dude, man, hanging out, and he got pissed. You know.
Well, he wasn't a good guy, but he was a
Well,
he was
he was
he was a
the most
vengeful
loved.
angel. You know what I mean?
And that's hearsay at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, it's all fiction,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I'm not trying to trash anybody's beliefs or anything, but in my opinion, all that stuff's fiction. But
It's not even really in the. Not a lot of that is in the Bible. His backstory and stuff. His origin story isn't even in there.
that would make a pretty cool like action movie as well.
They tried, man. They tried to.
I know they tried,
Do a
but
little bit of
it
that.
rides the religion border too much. And
I know.
but wouldn't that be cool though? Like this beautiful angel like is cast out and descends and becomes like this creature.
Yeah.
You know?
They would have to do it right, and it would be very to not go all religious on it. I mean, and either way, you're pissing off a lot of people. You know,
Yeah, you're either pissing off the religious people or you're pissing off the non-religious people.
if you could do it real badass,
It'd be impossible to ride that line, but
I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, if you could, though, right? It'd be cool.
I mean, there's a lot of cool stories about stuff like that, like angels being badasses, and you know, like Diablo, sort of lore.
Right.
The angels are like hard asses. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they were pretty. There's some stories. They were pretty hard. Some of them were
Yeah,
pretty
like
hard.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael
he
was a
don't play.
hard ass dude, and he wielded this giant sword.
Swords. Right.
You know what I mean? He's the
I think it
the
could do it.
archangel, the guardian archangel. Like, I will strike down evil. Like, and it's not like, oh, I'm gonna talk to you and talk you out of it. Like, I'm gonna cut you in half. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, that's no, they used to be more badass, I think.
Very vengeful. Well, not vengeful, but a wrathful god. They talk about a wrathful
Right.
god. Like, I will,
Yeah.
like Zeus. Like, I will throw a lightning bolt at your face
Well, it's
if you
convenient,
question
right?
me. You know what I mean?
Oh, Gabriel was the other one. I was just looking at that. Gabriel and Michael were the archangels.
But they were like hard asses, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen Constantine with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I was trying to think.
That was
there was
really-
another one that was really
it was.
bad.
I guess it was sort of poorly acted, but not really. Honestly, it was that.
What was that other one?
Dude, I
though,
will watch
was,
that again. That was a good movie, man. And I'll stand behind
What is-
that.
It wasn't really. It was a battle between good and evil, but I don't know. I gotta rewatch it. I don't remember it.
I
just
like the
remember
whole
it being more
Constantine
actiony.
premise. The whole Constantine premise of him like trying to buy his way back into heaven because he committed
Right.
suicide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was good, man. He's got that shotgun that shoots like silver and holy blessed bullets out of it, and
Yeah. It was a weird movie.
It was good.
I'll have to rewatch
When
it.
he does
'cause I
that
don't
exorcism
remember.
and he pulls that demon into the mirror in the beginning, and he's like, the demon's like trying to break out of the mirror, and they throw it out the window, and it crashes on the ground.
Was it a comic book?
Yeah, it's DC.
Oh, okay. That's yeah, okay. That
Remember
makes
when he
sense.
puts his feet in the water and he stares into the cat's eyes and he goes into hell?
No, I don't even remember
Dude,
that.
you gotta watch that again, dude. That was a good ass movie, man.
I guess so.
It was
I just
good.
remember it being like crazy.
I thought it was good, man. Maybe it doesn't hold up. Maybe I gotta watch it again.
We're gonna watch that. All right. So, good first episode. What
Yeah.
else we got? Is that it? We've been at it for a while.
This is just sort of what we're gonna do. You know what I mean?
This is it. We're just gonna fucking just
We're
chat.
gonna
forever.
start with something. We're gonna lead into another thing. As we grow, I think a lot of topics will come from viewers as well. Which
Yeah, we want to hear from the viewers.
which would be really that's another thing that I want to do. Is
Not
really
Anaconda, I'm looking at you. You need to give us some topics that you want to hear about.
I want to engage. But until then, like if we don't ever grow, which definitely a chance of that. I mean, we're making podcasts on Twitch and YouTube.
Definitely possible.
Um,
Definitely possible.
If we don't, we'll just sit here and talk for a couple hours every week. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
You'll have to deal with it.
it's like a conversation over coffee. You know what I mean?
It's too late for coffee though. But you got it. I got some coconut water.
No,
So-
I had my coffee earlier. I'm drinking this, but this is ice melted. This is melted ice. That's just water
with the,
at this
with the
point.
hint of coffee.
Okay, that's what you do.
But yeah, pretty good first episode, I think.
Definitely.
I think we'll be uploading this to YouTube. Probably edit it a little bit, and
It's gonna be on.
we'll kick this
Gonna
thing
edit out
off.
my cursing a little bit. You know.
I don't think you cursed at all this entire show.
I definitely didn't. I definitely was.
I think
super
I did a little
about
bit. I think I did a little,
that.
which I think that's okay.
We'll see. We'll
I
see how it goes.
I don't necessarily want this to not be an adult show. I kind of want it to do its own thing
Yeah.
organically, which is kind
You
of
know
what
how
we've been
YouTube
doing.
Gets, YouTube gets a little crazy about that.
Yeah, but we've been organically sort of letting this happen, and that's exactly what I envisioned when I thought of this thing.
So we did it. This
So,
is first show in the
yeah.
bag.
We did it.
We
So,
were officially successful.
If anybody's watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. It's been a great time. I'm sensing that Zach is wanting to get out of here now.
I'm tired,
and,
man. It's 10:30 at night.
I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna relinquish him from this realm.
We're gonna start earlier next time. The sun will be out.
No, I think 8's a good time to do it.
8 p.m. Basically in bed. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So-
I can maintain a 2 hour maybe. You know.
Thank you so
Maximum.
much. Well, I mean, we could cut it to 2 hours if you want. Like we've been going on now for,
Well, we got into it. You know.
over
That's what
two.
happens.
I feel like we're not gonna have a set time for how long these things are gonna be.
I think we started with Corona and Star Wars, and then we ended up talking about music. That's what happened.
Yeah,
That's what happened. We got into it early.
we got into politics a little bit.
We
We strayed away from that
went
real
crazy.
fast, which was a really good idea. But I've enjoyed myself. That's what I
It's
know.
been fun.
I've enjoyed myself. So I think we do
I've
this.
enjoyed-
We
The
could.
people in chat, they really made it for me.
Yeah.
They always do.
Thank you.
Always do.
Anybody who watches this on YouTube, thank you for the support. If you want to click the subscribe button for the Lore of the Things channel, we'd appreciate it.
Hit the bell.
Every
Hit the bell
subscription
so
helps.
you get notified.
And
For every subscription, we'll send you a. So just so you
send you a what? You cut out.
we're gonna send a post-it note to.
You're cutting out. I don't know why you're cutting out.
A post-it note.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
It's gonna be a hard process to mail it
We're
and
gonna try-
envelope it and mail it out and everything. But
If
We'll
you
figure out something
subscribe,
for supporters. We'll figure out something for
we're gonna-
supporters of the
We're
show.
gonna track you down. We're gonna track you down and mark my words.
You cut out again.
I think you're doing it to me.
You said I'm gonna. You said this is what you said. We're gonna track you down and mark my words. I said that sounds
That's it.
threatening.
That's all you got to know, really.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night. We're gonna come up with a more sophisticated outro and intro for this, I believe. We'll be working on it as we go. Like I said, it's organic.
Lure the things,
Nothing
lure
starts
the things
perfect.
Out.
But we're gonna call it there. So, thanks for all the support. Thank you. Please subscribe on YouTube. Follow the Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/BarryDubs. Twitch.tv/TheKidZach. I'm gonna get
Check it out.
I'm gonna get Twitter set up. Right now, I'm just using my personal Twitter, which isn't gonna reach anyone. We're gonna set up the YouTube channel. This will be posted to that. We're gonna edit it down a little bit so you don't have to hear so much bull. We'll get straight to the topics. Thank you so much, you guys, and have a good night.
See ya.